Charleston Southern, and it is a warm one. It's like opening day, not closing day, and it's going to be a great matchup. You've got a couple teams that have faced each other. Well, Liberty's played Charleston Southern more than any other team in program history. They've faced each other quite a bit. Liberty's had the advantage most of the time, but not all of the time. And Aaron's got some more on series history and some other notes here today.
Thanks, Mark. Now, this is Liberty's last game in the Big South as they make the move to the FBS next season. But they have had the series dominance over Charleston Southern ever since they started in the conference in 1993. Now, they took their first conference win in 1994 over Charleston Southern, and they have a 19-5 record in the series. But it's been a little bit different of late. Charleston Southern is on a 3-game winning streak in the series, and they look to kind of keep that going here today. Coach Turner for Liberty said that he just hopes that his team takes the opportunity to play their best football of the season. They're looking to have a lot of fun out here in their last game in the Big South. And for Charleston Southern, Coach Tucker said that they know that they're going to have to produce some points here today to get that win. Guys?
Thank you, Aaron. That's Aaron Summers, third member of our broadcast team up here in the booth. I'm Mark Bryant with Will Merritt. And classic strength-on-strength football, Will. I think you're looking forward to some of the clashes, particularly up front both ways here.
You know, we talk all the time, the game within the game, and I think you're going to see that today. You're going to see some incredible matchups, especially with one of the long-standing starting members of that Buccaneer offensive line that we highlighted in the open there with excuse me, Williamson. I have got nine names going through my head right now, but Williamson, and think about the matchup he's going to have on that defensive front with that Liberty Flames defense that loves to get in the backfield and be very disruptive. So if you want to see good gridiron football in the trenches between the tackles, you're going to have an opportunity to see that today. This is an anomaly type game. You very rarely see a team like Liberty that's had the kind of dominance they've had in program in totality have such a hard time against one team like Charleston Southern, and Charleston Southern has done that very well here at home. They've been able to hold serve a lot this year. So I think we're in for just a dandy of a football game.
We're also in for a warm one. Liberty was playing last week a game that was 40 at kickoff and in the 20s by the time they were done. And here today, well, we're going to be in the 70s for the bulk of this game with sunshine here in the South Carolina Low Country. Just a South Carolina November Saturday, and a lot of sun, and our cameras are going to bake out there. And I guess it's probably preferable to freezing like they had been sometimes before.
I think I was talking to one of the crew members. They said last week it was 30. This week it could get to 80. So it could be almost a 40 to 50 degree swing between the guys that have been able to work all these games. So November, no telling what you're going to get down here in the Low Country, but Charleston Southern has rolled out the red carpet for the Flames today.
We are ready for the opening kickoff, and for Charleston Southern, that is David Kennedy. Last week, Liberty took back the opening kick 80 yards and set up a score. This time it's going to be a touchback. So a simple start here, and we'll get our first look at the Liberty offense.
Well, a lot to talk about with that Liberty offense. As you know, one of the biggest keys to this Liberty offense is going to be their quarterback, Stephen Calvert, and he is just an outstanding young man and can break all kind of records today. But watch for them to be able to air the ball out very, very early on with Calvert, especially with the type of numbers this young man has put up throughout the season.
Calvert takes the first and 10 snap, whips out to Antonio Gandy Golden, who was out injured last week, so we're getting a look at him, and he's getting the touch right away.
Speaking with the Liberty staff earlier before we went on the air today, I said, how about Gandy Golden? He said, not only will he start, but you will see him a huge part of the offense early on. Well, he gets the very first pass of the day.
And get 5 yards on first down. You've certainly set yourself up for success. Calvert pulls the ball back, looking for Golden again. That ball just sails out of bounds. Golden was held up anyway, some physical contact on the boundary. No flags, however.
It looks like Charleston Southern got away with one. The Buccaneers might have gotten away with a little bit of a holding downfield there on the sideline, but a little home cooking that happened right in front of Coach Tucker.
Yeah, Coach Mark Tucker, in his first year as the head man at Charleston Southern, has been coaching quarterbacks here, so he's very familiar. He's recruited a lot of guys on the field here. Senior day for Charleston Southern. Pressure being applied by Ellis and others, and they do manage to disrupt the play. And that's going to be, well, virtually no gain, maybe a yard, and that's about it. And we'll set up 4th down.
What incredible quickness by Anthony Ellis off the snap of the football. He went with a hard outside look and then swam inside with an interior swim move and was in Calvert's face. Disrupted the pass. Obviously had to get it out a little too quick. The Buccaneers were able to corral him on defense, but that just shows you how explosive he is off the snap of the football.
First look at Trey Turner to punt the ball. His longest this year is a 58-yard punt. His longest in career is 61. Goes off to his left, and this one is going to bounce and kick inside the 25 and roll to a stop at about the 22, and that is where the Charleston Southern Buccaneers will get their first chance at the ball. And it's been a question as to who was going to be the one receiving the snaps, and it looks like it might be Shane Busnell. I think he was the one heading into that huddle, but they said all along that it could be any of the 3 possibilities. Busnell, Johnson, and Mitchell might all potentially see time today.
You know, when we were talking to Coach Tucker earlier the week. He said, look, we'll know by the end of the game who's played the most snaps. He was very open and honest about it. Whoever's going to have the hot hand, but it looks like, I believe Busnell is.
Well, he was.
No, excuse me, now it looks like Johnson.
Yep, it's going to be Johnson. London Johnson will take the snap. Busnell was in the huddle as well. He may see some time. First play is a handoff off the left side. Spin move, and out past the 30 to the 35 goes Schuler. Very solid play for Charleston Southern on their opener, and if they can establish the ground game, that is exactly what the Buccaneers need.
Well, Schuler is a tough back. That one right there takes him over the 500-yard mark and an automatic first down for the Buccaneer offense. He is a tough, tough guy, low center of gravity, very difficult to bring down. Good job off left tackle.
So Johnson sets up, 2 wide to his right, looking to his right. Snap throw into the flat, and they'll get, well, they really won't get any yardage out on that attempt.
Just a quick throw to try to get Johnson settled in. You know he can throw the football. They want to do some high percentage throws with him early on, and that right there, they slung the ball out to Davis, who is just a fantastic receiver, a gentleman that actually averages over 20 yards per catch.
Yeah, when they're throwing big. Cameron Brown also has a standout on yards per catch. Johnson very dynamic. He can run the ball as well. A little option look, and they'll shift off to the right with Jeffrey Wall taking the handoff. Gain of a few. It's going to set up a 3rd and medium distance here from about the 40, but there's a man down. And that is number 79 for Charleston Southern, offensive lineman Bracken Smith.
First time we've seen the zone read for the Buccaneers so far in their early play calling.
Well, as they're tending to Smith, we will step aside for just a moment, and we'll be back with more. It's still the first quarter and scoreless here in Charleston, and you are watching college football down south.
Gotta make choices. If you're hungry and you got $5, you could eat this stuff that the meat, bean, cheese randomizer Kiero'd into a box.
Taco Guacarito Supreme.
Or you can get a real meal with a charbroiled double cheeseburger, spicy chicken sandwich, drink, fries, and look at this fresh baked cookie. So it's a choice, I guess. The $5 All-Star Meals. There's 4 of them, and there's no better way to spend $5. Only at Hardee's.
They put both the quarterbacks in the huddle, I'm assuming, to try to keep Liberty guessing from the booth.
Nursing that arm. First quarter in Charleston here at Buccaneer Field. CSU with the ball. It is scoreless just a couple minutes in. Bracken Smith, left tackle for the Buccaneers, went out hurt, was nursing what looked to be his left arm, holding that against his body. And that sends in redshirt junior Alex Thompson in his place at left tackle. The quarterback here setting up is London Johnson. And he'll have Schuler and Harris as his backs as he awaits the 3rd and 2 snap. He will keep and pitch, and Harris has got room to the outside past the 45, and he's got that first down. Let's go down to Erin. She may have more information with us on the sidelines.
Hey guys, I watched as Bracken Smith came off the field. He was holding his left arm very close to his body and making sure not to bend at his elbow. He had it just kind of pinned against him, so it looked like it might be something in that shoulder, left shoulder area. They brought him into the athletic training tent on the sidelines, and they're taking a look at him right now. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make it back into the game.
Thank you, Aaron. Scoring first is going to be important in this game. I'll tell you what, Charleston Southern this year, when they score first, they're 4-0. When they don't, they're 1-5. Meanwhile, on the other side, Liberty, when they score first, they're 6-3. When they don't, it only happened once. They lost. That is batted and not caught. A good effort there by number 11, Matthew Martin, to try and get the deflected ball, but simply an incomplete pass.
Those are opportunities at Liberty. If you're trying to bat the ball up in the air at the line of scrimmage, that's cherry-picking opportunities for your free safeties. So the Buccaneers actually dodge a bullet there. You mentioned scoring first, and this is a team that likes, once they have gotten on the board here at home, they've been tough to beat here at Buccaneer Stadium. This has been a place where they have really been able to come up with a few upsets this year and really hold serve.
And with the series being 3 wins in a row for Charleston Southern, that's you got a bunch of Buccaneers who are not used to losing to the Flames, and a bunch of Flames who haven't seen a victory against the Buccaneers. Out to midfield for Schuler, and a flag sails in, and Liberty is applauding this one, so we'll have to sort this out. Our referee today is Jerry Wellmaker. Personal foul against CSU. Yeah,
interesting enough that CSU has gone to the option look into the boundary instead of to the wide side of the field. When they ran the zone read, which a lot of times is run to the boundary, it was run to the wide side of the field. So really just trying to mix things up from a play calling perspective, and you can obviously tell that Coach Tucker is understanding he needs to maintain clock, maintain possession, and keep Liberty's offense off the field, sticking to the running game early on.
And so that positive yardage, that drive that was moving a little bit, gets a big punch to the gut and all the way back to their own 37 now, and creates a 3rd and very long situation. Call it 19. So they'll send 3 receivers wide to the right. Send Wall in motion, fakes the handoff to Schuler, throw over to Wall, and he's just surrounded. He's got to try and find his way through a thicket there. There's flames everywhere he looks, and he gets a few, but when he needed 19, a few is not going to do it.
But let me just say this, 19 is really nothing for this Buccaneer offense.
Yeah, they can do it.
I mean, as you know, Brown, Dinkins, and Davis, they have 3 receivers that are used to catching passes of 20 and plus yards on a per play average. So this is a Buccaneer team that can strike downfield, try to catch Liberty in a 2-deep coverage there on defense, and try to go underneath with the slip screen, but Liberty just too quick on defense, able to corral him and force the Buccaneers into a punting situation.
Stubbs back deep, awaiting the punt from Rygard. Rygard has a long this year of 57, also his career long. Bounces at the 4, kicks up and down at around the 5-yard line. Call it the 6 here, and that is where Liberty will resume on offense. Scoreless here in the first quarter. We'll step aside and come right back with more action here on college football down south.
This is where heart rules height, where teamwork triumphs and hard work reigns supreme. This is what happens when a hunger for success meets a relentless drive to be great. Here we go. This is where nothing is given and excellence is earned. This is the Big South, where winners are made.
There is Buckshot Calvert, Stephen Buckshot Calvert. And Will, I know we were talking about this earlier. That's not a nickname. That is his middle name. Mosley will try this. He'll get no yards out to the left side.
And it made me love him even more when we were talking to Turner Gill earlier in the week when he said, no, Will, Buckshot is on his birth certificate, named after the legendary NASCAR driver Buckshot Jones.
Yep.
And so
Dad was a fan, and so there you go. Calvert rolls right, throws right. He's got a reception there, number 82. And
good grab by B.J. Farrell.
Yeah, Farrell. They were evaluating him before the game. They weren't sure what his status would be, and he's in good shape, obviously. Mosley will get the carry this time, trying to find his way through the line, and they stiffen up there at about the 18-yard line. He's close to a first down, I believe, where they've marked. He's got it.
Well, Mosley is just one of those guys that, you know, he's only 230. Oh, I say only 235. That's big for a running back, but he looks bigger than that, Mark. He looks like he's just kind of that bruiser guy at the point of impact, at the point of contact. He just makes some really good football players look silly sometimes.
Mosley joined in the backfield by King. And then Gandy Golden has got himself some good yards here. And he'll get that a little bit shy of the marker, though.
I think Gandy Golden caught that ball 3 times.
Yeah. He's got skills. They missed him last week, but didn't miss him that much because their offense was extraordinarily prolific even without Gandy Golden. Mosley's met in the backfield. You know, shocker, that defense is so good at penetrating and getting tackles for
really
loss. Ellis is involved in this one, but he wasn't the only one.
Ellis was about the 3rd man there, but that Buccaneer defensive line was just absolutely having none of what Liberty was trying to scheme up front. Really good job by that Buccaneer defense, led up front by Brown.
Yeah, and linebacker Craig Johnson in the mix as well. Calvert in the shotgun, Mosley to his left. 1 receiver to the short side, 3 here to the near side. Calvert adjusting the call, calls for the ball, looking downfield. And he'll gun it down there. He's got a man to the 40-yard line. Another good gain for the Flames, and this time it is with Cephas Reddick. And they've got so many choices. I mean, last week they had, 300 yards passing from Calvert, 100 yards from Mosley, and then they had a 100-yard receiver too. But it's so many guys who were over 60 and 70 yards as well. Yeah. They were all over the field. This is Calvert. Immediate throw to his right. Well defended out there.
Well, that's a fantastic play by the Charleston Southern defensive backcourt. They were in the right place at the right time, and then Hopkins comes up and makes a very athletic play right at the point of contact when the ball gets there. That's exactly how you play that position as a DB. Keep your eyes where they need to be, keep your body in position, and then make a play right at the end.
Shadarius Hopkins breaks it up, and it's 2nd and 10. Calvert. Well, there'll be a whistle first, and it looks like there might be 5 yards here against the Flames.
Yeah, I believe you're going to have a little flinch up front by the offensive line. That defensive line then is allowed to penetrate the neutral zone. So Liberty be backed up when they had everything rolling.
Looks like that might be tagged on Sargent. So that will make this a bit of a longer call here. 2nd and 15 now. We're with 8:20 remaining in the first quarter. Calvert is ready, and a little looping pass there to Mosley, and the defense is so quick to react. He's got no gain on the play.
Oh, J.D. Sosby was just all over this. He was having none of it. As you see what is called a snap release blocking scheme. The offensive line, they snap their hands up. They hit just a very short punch to try to let the defensive line penetrate the backfield to set up the screen. Linebackers' eyes were right where they needed to be, and Sosby makes a fantastic play for a lost game.
CSU doing what they were looking to do, try to keep the Liberty machine from getting in motion, because once they get going, they can really do some dangerous things. Farrow to the near side. Reddick down as well, but Calvert looking deep on the left for Gandy Golden and overthrows him at the Charleston Southern 30.
You know, Calvert's got a little bit of an unusual delivery style when he throws the football. If you'll notice, sometimes he has where he falls forward tremendously, where a lot of quarterbacks like to rest on their back foot, plant, and then step into it. He's actually a guy that his whole body goes forward as he launches the football, and you can just see how much authority he gets with that pass at the point of release.
And just a sophomore, this is his 18th start, and he's single season records are falling for him, and he's already in the top 10 in a couple categories for Big South for the career. Not just Liberty, but Big South. He won't be adding, though, because this is the last Big South game for the Flames. Taz Lindsay looked like he might have had a little trouble with that at the 30, but they will keep it. And so we'll stay here as Charleston Southern tries to work their hand on the offensive side.
Well, you know, one of the points that you and I discussed earlier in the week is which team was going to turn the ball over first. Which team was going to be able to capitalize on the ability for special teams to be a factor. You knew you had great matchups on offense. You knew you had great matchups in the linebacking core versus the running backs on both sides of the ball. But the intangible, which one was going to be that special teams blunder that allowed the other team to have some cheap points early on, that could be the catalyst to whichever team walks out of here with a win.
Johnson has gotten in 9 games, hasn't started them all, but here's a run that bursts through the right side of the line. And that is Schuler on the carry behind Cerrone. And he's just been a standout offensive lineman for years for this team, and he was just leading the way and blasting that hole.
And I watched Cerrone and his father earlier. He was actually recognized as a senior prior to kickoff today, and he and his dad was sporting his jersey. I'm not sure which one of them could play today. They both look like they're stud offensive linemen.
Schuler in the backfield with Johnson, waiting on the shotgun snap here on 2nd and short. He'll put that ball in the gut of Schuler, and he's got that easily on the right side.
Well, I'll tell you what, Schuler is just so quick out of the backfield. He hits the A and B gap so quick. If you notice, that was a misdirection handoff, and honestly, Johnson almost didn't get turned full all the way around. He almost didn't make the full circular motion in order to be able to get the ball into Schuler's breadbasket before he hit the hole. So it just shows you Schuler is a downhill runner, and the Flames are having trouble with him early on.
Well, and CSU was moving the ball the last possession, but that penalty totally derailed them. Here they are with a 1st and 10 situation approaching midfield. Johnson's looking to throw on this one. The pocket's collapsing. He's got to improvise, working to his right, pointing downfield. They'll manage to sneak a few yards out of this. Good adjustment.
Well, it shows you exactly what Coach Tucker was talking about Johnson earlier in the week when we asked about him. He said the intangibles that he brings is that when the pocket collapses, the play is never over with him. He can get out of the pocket. He keeps his eyes where they need to be. He's got good poise in the pocket. Obviously, this is a Buccaneer team that we're probably going to see 3 different quarterbacks today. Johnson making a name for himself for Coach Tucker to leave him in for the long haul.
You could well see, Johnson most of the time perhaps. But we've got others to choose from. Busnell with a lot of experience, and he's cleared from a concussion earlier in the season, and Mitchell with an arm that Coach Tucker described as freakish.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that comes into play. It did in that game winner against Gardner-Webb. Aaron's got some information for us on the sidelines. Aaron.
Guys, you mentioned it at the beginning of this series that it's going to be who has the first turnover. Well, Charleston Southern has had a lot of issues with that this past month. They've had 11 turnovers, and Coach Tucker said he just didn't really understand why, that they need to be better about executing on the offense, keeping hold of that ball, no more interceptions, no more fumbles. And he said that it's just been one of those things. It's just been kind of a Jekyll and a Hyde issue this season for them. So they're going to work on keeping control of that ball today.
Thank you, Aaron. Under 5 to go in the period, and a 3rd and 3 situation now. Split backs, and Johnson will set to throw. Looking left, pressure from Wells. Rolling and having to dump this one away. They had to give up on the 3rd down play, and it's all because of Juwan Wells.
Well, and Juwan Wells, a gentleman we talked about in the pregame, he's just a guy that's going to be everywhere. His face is always going to be around the ball. You're going to see his name and number everywhere the ball is. He's a ball hawk. We loved watching him play. And that time right there, CSU really blew an opportunity, Mark. I mean, 3rd and very short, had an opportunity to be able to rattle those chains and keep that drive alive. Johnson just wasn't able to get into pay dirt.
Farrow deep for the punt return. No one's really managed to keep a drive going long term here. Farrow lets it go. It bounces and kicks into the end zone this time instead of kicking up. And so a touchback will have the Flames set up for their next opportunity on offense. And we'll set up for a break and come back with more right here. Scoreless in the first quarter on college football down south.
NCAA Division I FCS football is a game of perseverance, integrity, passion, character, and sportsmanship. As he works to honor the game, every FCS student-athlete grows in his responsibilities as a student and as a member of his campus and community. Dedicated to personal growth and success in the classroom, the NCAA Division I FCS, every down, every day.
It's spare time, and at Spare Time Entertainment, we've got just what you need. We've got games, we've got lanes, we've got food, and fun? Oh yeah, we've got fun. So when you've got a little time on your hands, make it spare time. Visit SpareTimeEntertainment.com.
Liberty ready, 1st and 10 at their own 20. Calvert already ready to go and calling for the ball. Fakes the handoff, looking downfield. Pressure in his face. Manages to come off the first man. Wing it downfield. Dangerous ball. Was that catch made for an interception? It was. And the question of the first turnover, we got an answer, Will.
That's exactly right. We just figured, well, hey, somebody's going to turn the ball over and give the other team an additional at-bat. Who was it going to be? Well, it turns out Charleston Southern's defense comes up with a big play, and it all started with the pressure up front. If you do not get that type of pressure on Calvert, he typically does not make that type of mistake, but a really good job by Rankin to get in there in the backfield to force the pressure, and then a great job in the secondary. That's the second time today that we've said Shadarius Hopkins' name on a couple of big plays, and he comes up with a nice pick there. You know, one of my old coaches used to talk about all the time that the turnover bug, when it bites you, you never know where it's coming from, you never know how it gets there, and you never know how to get rid of it. Sometimes it's like a golfer who has the shanks. He just doesn't know how to be able to get his swing back. Sometimes it's just poor luck. It's just the way the ball bounces. But Charleston Southern has a huge opportunity here to capitalize on this Liberty football team, that if they give you more at-bats, you have to capitalize on it if you're going to upset one of the better teams in this conference.
And Sosby kind of coming off the field a little gimpy. He was down for a while after the play. He's part of the reason that ball got thrown the way it got thrown. They don't want to lose a guy like him. He's one of those guys who's going to be in the backfield disrupting things. Looks to be okay, walks off under his own power, but he helped set this up, no question. Ball to the Buccaneers at midfield. 4+ minutes remaining here in the first quarter. It's scoreless. Wall in motion, circles back around behind Johnson as the handoff goes to Harris. And Harris will get about 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, we've already named Sosby a couple of times on some really big defensive stops. This is a young man that really knows how to stay around the football, stay involved. He's very engaged in being able to read the option plays as well. They're going to key on him, so good job by Sosby. Hopefully that's just a little nick and he's not shaking up too bad, and he'll be right back in the contest for the Buccaneers. Now, Liberty has an opportunity, too, with this turnover to see what they're made of on that defensive front that has been solid all year long.
Harris and Schuler behind Johnson. Johnson pulls back and throws deep. He is too deep. He was looking for Cameron Brown on a bit of a home run up the middle. Not to be, not this time.
Two really good-looking teams on that line of scrimmage. As you noted, that's a veteran offensive line for CSU that starts right there in the middle with Williamson. Of course, he's going up against a defensive front that has a couple of graduates, a couple of redshirt juniors and some seniors, so a very experienced trench warfare going on today between the Buccaneers and the Flames.
So here we go, 3rd and 7. No score in this game. Who's blinking first? Harris powers through past the 40, and I believe he's got the first down. He pushed forward at the end there. Contact was made at the marker, and he was still going.
Well, what a nice stable of backs that Coach Tucker has to be able to throw out there for the Charleston Southern backfield. And Harris just making his way right up the gut, in between the tackles. And
well, this is about the deepest anybody has gotten today, so we'll see if they can do something with it now with a 1st and 10 at the 39. Clock is rolling and going down to about 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Johnson hands this one off to, no, keeps it, pulls it right back out of Schuler and tries the right side himself. He'll get to the 35. You had Lucas Irons in on that tackle. Irons was called to step up a couple weeks ago with injuries, forcing him to come up really into a leadership role on a defense. There, Tillman also involved in the stop. You got Williamson at center. He's made 50 starts, and you're like, how is that even possible? Well, some postseason play, a medical redshirt year. This is overthrown, looking for Dinkins. Dinkins was the hero of the game against Gardner-Webb that Charleston Southern pulled out.
That's right, yeah.
A few weeks ago. That was the game where Busnell got a concussion, and they brought Mitchell in at the end, and you're like, oh my goodness, they're going to the 3rd-string quarterback, and then Mitchell unleashes this bomb that Dinkins manages to barely catch, and you think, well, they've got no timeouts left. They're never going to get the snap off, but they reviewed the call. They wanted to see if it was a catch, and while they were reviewing the call, Charleston Southern sets up for the field goal. Officials whistle in a play. They kick the field goal, and they win 10-9. It was a remarkable finish. And you saw it here on college football down south. Johnson will keep on the draw. He'll snap right up the middle inside the 30, 25, and to the 20. Great run, knifing through the Liberty defense.
And Johnson is one of those guys that if he gets in open fields, it's curtains. He can outrun just about everybody on the field. This is a young man. Look at this. Nice poise in the pocket. Good seal block by Williamson. Of course, we highlighted him multiple times today, and we'll continue to talk about them. Williamson gets the seal block to the interior A-gap, and, of course, Johnson comes right off his backside hip for a nice first down carry. It's a young man that's averaging right at 5 yards a carry, and you can see exactly why.
Buccaneers into a red zone opportunity here right at the 20. Johnson will hand to Schuler. Schuler blasts into the right side, and even after contact manages to stretch it, and that's a 7 or 8 yard gain on first down. Take it every time if you're Charleston Southern.
A 50-yard-a-game type guy, and really most of his yards so far in this contest have been after the first initial contact. He's carrying guys with him, finishing runs, and falling downhill at the end of the play.
As we said before, scoring first, a big deal for both teams. Liberty has scored first in all but one game this year. They lost that. That was the St. Francis game. Wall in motion. Johnson hands to Schuler. Schuler is hit immediately. Doesn't go down with the first. Still pushing. Gets inside the 10, and he's got a first down. They had him dead to rights, but no, you don't have him.
Schuler must have been listening to the broadcast. So they said he's not going to go down on initial contact, and he's going to fall forward, and that's exactly what he did. I have not seen a Buccaneer running back that has been in their repertoire today that has not fallen forward for additional yards at the end of the play.
Coaches love that. There's no doubt about it. And it is Schuler as the lone back with Johnson. Wall goes in motion, and he'll join the backfield. Johnson does hand to Schuler. Great job there by Tillman to get in the backfield immediately, and he helps drag down Schuler, and that's partly just because he managed to get around those legs. Because they're not arm tackling him, and they're not bodying him down.
No, sir. They're not going to come down with any type of wing. I can assure you that. If they put that chicken wing out there, he's running right through it. Now here we go with only 13 seconds to go. Let's see if the Buccaneers try to snap the ball inside of 10 seconds or if they're going to run it out to the second quarter.
2nd and goal from the 7. Seconds ticking off here in the first. And it's going to be close. They will get the play off. Schuler trying the right. He's down to the goal line. He's close. He's inside the 1. I thought for a moment he was going to just keep rolling just one more notch, but he's going to come up barely short.
I'm not sure that's not as close as you can get to the goal line without having it ruled 6. But, boy, I tell you what, he has been impressive in the first quarter. Goodness, that young man has run with authority between the tackles. Schuler has definitely been the go-to force
and
for
with
the
that,
Buccaneer offense.
With that, the first 15 minutes have elapsed. There's no score. But Charleston Southern is definitely knocking on the door right now. We'll be back with more after this break here on College Football Down South.
The running of the Bulldogs? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Aaliyah saved by switching to Geico.
Yeah, I would add to that, we're not getting any on-screen graphics in any of the monitors here. Got nothing on any of these screens. Haven't had anything all game. Yeah, when you were saying weather before, I was waiting to see the graphic and I never did, so that's why I didn't talk about it. Are we back? Okay, they did a quick play there here to start the second quarter, but you didn't miss anything because he didn't get anywhere. They're still on the edge of the goal line, and now it's 4th and goal inside the 1. Crowd doesn't like seeing the kicker come out. TCAC onto the field with the football, just a football's length from a touchdown.
This is really surprising to me, honestly, with you, Mark. I mean, Charleston Southern offensive line has really not had an issue getting push off the line of scrimmage.
And so TCAC will attempt the 3, we think. There's whistles, so this isn't going to count. So we'll have to see what that's all about. But yeah, when we were talking during the break about Schuler averaging 5.9 a carry, and they are needing a football length.
Not only that, but I mean, this is a young man that was averaging 50 yards per game rushing, and he's already matched that in the first quarter. Charleston Southern's offensive line has done a great job of blitz pickup and getting push on the line of scrimmage. That's why this is a kind of surprising call by Coach Tucker. And now with the penalty, who knows? Well, he might come to the sideline and think about it.
Not a penalty, but actually this is a timeout that Charleston Southern called. So perhaps they're actually rethinking this. We'll have to see.
But I think with a guy like Schuler in the backfield, the way he has run with authority here in this first quarter going into the second quarter, I believe I line up, let my big uglies up front do the work and see if he can't get on the backside hip of somebody and push it in for 6. And just like that, here we go with the offensive unit coming back out onto the field, Mark. So you called it. Here we come with Johnson and Schuler back into the backfield for the Bucks.
Yeah, Coach Tucker or somebody out there is like, wait.
Yeah.
just a second here.
It only needs about 5.5, 6 inches to be able to get into pay dirt.
Now, is this a situation where you're in danger of outthinking yourself? Because, I mean, you know the shortest distance, and you know they've had success, but are they going to try too much here, I wonder?
I dance with the one you brought. I think I hand it off to my back. I don't try to get cute here.
They've got Schuler. They've got Harris. Johnson calling for the ball in shotgun. He will give to Schuler. Schuler pushing right side. I think he's in. He is. Touchdown, Charleston Southern.
Nothing fancy, just off the right side of between the A and the B gap of the guard and tackle. Good combo block up front on that Liberty defensive line, and really that is one of those type drives that can be a signature drive in a game like this, when you can take the ball methodically downfield the way they did, in the manner in which they did. That can give you a psyche going forward that this can be your game to lose by being able to be very, very methodical with the running game.
You played the game. The psychological difference between them kicking that field goal there and running this in.
Night and day. And not only that, it's just the vote of confidence that your coaches just gave you. That's what you're looking for. This is a fact that they came to the sideline and said, hey, we're going to put it on your shoulders. The offensive line was able to go out there and make something of it.
And, of course, and from the fan standpoint, you look at that and you say, well, the worst that happens is you pin Liberty down at their own 1.
Right. And with the way your defense played in the first quarter, that's not a bad thing at all either. So now Charleston Southern, and you alluded to the stat earlier, Mark, the team that scores first in this game has a ton of success.
So we will see if that favors the Buccaneers. The scoreboard does right now. It is 7-0 CSU. We're going to step aside and come back with more just a moment here on College Football Down South.
As a mother of 3, I've seen the positive impact sports have on kids. At Dick's Sporting Goods, we believe everyone should have the chance to play. And if cost ever gets in the way, that goes against everything we believe. So we're stocking new gear at lower prices and introducing the best price guarantee. If you find a lower price from a competitor, we'll match it. Because it's not enough to offer you the best gear. We need to offer it at the best price.
Musco Lighting. We make it happen.
Seven 0 favoring the Charleston Southern Buccaneers over the Liberty Flames in the season finale for both schools and the Big South finale for Liberty as well. They're going FBS next year. We're going to get the kickoff here from Kennedy. Hickson, the deep man for the Flames. Hickson, last week's Big South Special Teams Player of the Week. It is breezy. How breezy? That breezy. It has knocked the ball off the tee a couple times. Someone's going to have to hold this ball for Kennedy. You get those kickers who like to have it just like so it's just the hair breadth on the
yeah.
on the tee, just enough that the wind actually can do that. Because I bet there's probably some people who's like, well, how can the wind blow that football over? Well, because it's barely balanced there, folks. Because he has it just so. And now we're going to have our Charlie Brown and Lucy moment here, and he's going to actually have to hold the football for him. Hopefully he doesn't pull it away like Lucy does. And there we go. The cannon sounds. Hickson gets the ball at his own 13. He had almost came to a knee, but manages to burst through, and he gets to the 35. And I believe Aaron Summers has some some info for us regarding Mr. Ellis for Charleston Southern. Aaron.
Anthony Ellis is one of these several seniors here today that are being honored for such a great past 4 years. They went 30-16 overall as a senior class. They had 2 BCS championships, and they went to an FCS playoff appearance. So they've been very productive, and they're definitely going to miss this senior class. Coach Tucker said that it's going to be very emotional for him, as Anthony Ellis was one of his recruits, and he actually went into Ellis's home and he made promises to his family that he would take care of him when he was here at Charleston Southern, and he has been a huge help for them here on the defensive side of things.
Well, in the background there, Andy Golden goes nuts, and there's a flag on the field that I think is what helped spring Antonio Gandy Golden on the little pass and little comebacker, but the hanky there on the field may have other things to say about this.
You know, all week long when we were talking to both of these staffs, Gandy Golden's name kept coming up, whether it be talking to the Liberty staff or talking to the Charleston Southern staff. They knew what kind of weapon he was. Now, granted, there's a penalty, and this thing's coming all the way back, but you just saw exactly how explosive Gandy Golden can be when he gets an open field. This is a young man that, when healthy, he could be the best player on the field.
And I think they thought they had him more dead to rights more than once up against the sideline. He just like, no, I'm going to keep this going. Kept it all going all the way to the end zone in the end there, but no, it's going to go all the way back to the 27, and instead it's going to be 1st and 15 here. Have to do it all over again. That never happened. You didn't see anything. Calvert hands off into the scrum. They'll get a few yards, maybe 4 on this. They don't even make the penalty back on that one.
I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like that Liberty is having a little bit of trouble just finding their sync right now offensively. It looks like that everything, when they have had good plays, Mark, you alluded to it earlier, when they've had good sustainable drives and good plays, penalties pulled it back. And then just on the line of scrimmage, Charleston Southern seems to be playing very inspired football on that defensive line.
And Liberty likes a high-scoring game, and they haven't been able to find any points for themselves just yet. Mosley diving out to the right, and he'll get them into a 3rd and manageable situation. But when Liberty has scored less than 20, they're 0-2. When they've scored 40 or more, they're 4-0.
Right.
And in between, they're 2-2, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. But, my goodness, they like to score a lot of points. They do.
If you're going to get on the scoreboard, Mosley's the guy that you're going to have to give it to. This is a guy that can go over the 1,000 yards rushing today if he has a big contest today against the Bucks.
Say almost found himself on the wrong side of the line there. Calvert adjusting with a look to the sideline. He's got Mosley with him. He's got 3 receivers to his left and 1 up top. Calvert looks right, throws right, and it overthrows Farrow. Just not syncing up.
That's 3 times in a row today that we've seen that exact same throw. Calvert just got a little bit of juice on the ball, a little bit of extra mustard when he's throwing the ball down the field. The routes are good. The receivers seem to be having a little bit of an edge there in the open field. They have a step or 2, but yet Calvert has not been able to find them. And once again, we're seeing Liberty come out 3 and out, 5 and outs. Here we go. This is a Buccaneer defense that is finding their rhythm and been able to stop this Flame offense.
Lindsey on his own 20 to receive the punt. Yeah, Calvert is on a record watch today, but he is not on pace for getting those numbers that he was looking for. Pass Lindsey. Did he get a hand on that? It looked like he was going to try and reach for a ball he shouldn't have been touching, and it winds up going in the end zone.
That is dangerous for Lindsey to reach out at the last minute, because if there's any contact whatsoever, that becomes a live ball, and Liberty can pounce on it, but it looks like he pulled his hand away just in time.
You also risk just knocking it out of bounds inside their own 5 or something like that. It would just set yourself up in a hole. Instead, they're going out to the 20, and they get to reset and go out to the field now with a lead in their pocket.
And I think this is a huge drive for Charleston Southern. You look back at benchmarks in any ball game, and I think this offensive line found their rhythm. They found some identity the last time they were out by being able to run the football, and obviously the success that Schuler had in the first quarter going into the second when he scored to put the Bucks up 7-0. But, Mark, I think that last drive really kind of set the tone for what they want to do. If CSU is able to come out here right now and put together another one of those drives, that is a marquee drive with only 12 minutes to go before this halftime. Charleston Southern could really set themselves up to be a team that has said, look, we're going to run first, pass second. There's nothing you can do about it.
I think if you told Coach Tucker, really anybody at Charleston Southern, guess what? 18 minutes into the game, Schuler's going to have more yards rushing than Calvert has passing.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, right,
that.
tell me another one. Tell me another one.
Yeah.
But that's where we are.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. And Calvert, we talked about, I mean, he came into the game needing 282 yards to break the single-season conference passing mark. Very doable for him. He came in needing 3 touchdown passes to break the single-season conference passing touchdown mark. Very doable for him. But Charleston Southern says, but we're out here too. And they've done a very effective job at really stifling what has been a methodical and effective Liberty attack. It's just not there so far.
I think that's well said, and don't forget, this is a Charleston Southern team that is used to success against this Liberty team as well. I'm not saying Liberty's not going to be able to come right back and have a good defensive stop here, and potentially, who knows where we're going to be 12 minutes from now. But this is also a Charleston Southern team that believes they can win in November. It has been no-show November for Liberty when it comes to Charleston Southern. They have had their number. For sure, the Buccaneers have had tremendous success for 3 years in a row trying to make it 4. You also got to wonder, Liberty, with no postseason aspirations, this is it for them.
Yep.
You know, this is their only opportunity. Are they inspired the way they typically have been in years past when they had a conference championship on the line?
For Charleston Southern, they're 5-5, 2-2. It's the balance between a winning season or a losing season. You talk about that November for Liberty. Coach Turner Gill is 16. This is a standout stat for me. Coach Turner Gill is 16-4 in November at Liberty, but 3 of those 4 losses are Charleston Southern. There's the 1st and 10 snap, and Johnson will keep it himself. There's really nowhere to go. Call it 2 yards maybe off the right side.
Pretty good Bob Johnson as well, just to get what he can get. That was well read by Liberty all the way across the board. Obviously, a option look to the short side of the field. They went into the boundary. Liberty had it completely buttoned up at every point of contact. They took the dive, took the pitch man. Johnson just was able to dive forward for just a few yards, but Liberty a good job of playing their keys, playing their zone.
That last drive for Charleston Southern ate more than 5 minutes off the clock. They put together another one like that, and they really feel good about themselves. Meanwhile, Liberty, Coach Turner Gill has told us that, you know, their hardest adjustments have been typically first quarter into the second quarter, not first half into second half. We got some motion here. Charleston Southern trying some tricky things, and it didn't really come together. So a little out of sync on the offense. They will throw away 5 yards here.
Well, that's going to happen when you motion and you change personnel and you change formations. As much as Charleston Southern count on a couple of illegal motions, you're going to be able to count on some illegal shifts. You're going to be able to count on a lot of those because you just can't have 11 guys doing it perfectly as many formations as they throw at you in a contest.
Brown, the receiver, to the near side. Harris in the backfield with Johnson, who is looking left. Now moving up in the pocket because it's collapsing around him, and down he goes. Really nothing out there for London Johnson. Here's one more look as he gets surrounded.
He actually had a beautiful pocket to throw the football in, so really credit the secondary on that. That's a secondary sack because Johnson had a nice, beautiful pocket to be able to step up and throw. Nobody's open downfield. Does exactly what he's taught to do. Get what you can get down. That's 3 times in a row that we've seen Liberty do a really, really good job of corralling him.
And it was Devin Fisher who brings him down. It sets up 3rd and 11. Just over 10 minutes remaining here in the second quarter of play. Johnson looking to throw. Now the pressure in his face is flushed out. Tries back up the middle, and he's nowhere close to it. And they're going to have to give this ball up. Punting unit coming on the field. Liberty did a good job of marshaling their forces and putting Johnson on the run more than once.
Johnson's limping off the field right now, holding his, looks like to be the stomach groin area. So it looks like he took a pretty nasty shot. So we'll see if Aaron can get us an update on him as he limps off. We thought we would see 3 quarterbacks today. Who knows? With him limping off the field the way he did, this could be the opportunity to see somebody new come in. It looks like there's a Liberty man down as well.
That's Deavante Brown from the defensive line rather. One of their grad students. They've got a number of seniors and players who've already gotten their diplomas in grad school, and Brown will come off under his own power, but was definitely hampered and slowed at the end of that one. So we'll move on with Brown on his way to the sidelines, and now for Liberty, they will send DJ Stubbs back deep, and he's near midfield to receive this punt from Rygaard. Liberty hoping for some good field possession coming off the nice defensive stop. Under 10 minutes to go in the half. Rygaard's got it, lets it fly. Stubbs waves for a fair catch and then just kind of stumbles toward the ball. Now who touched, oh, it's a scramble for the ball. I think there was some confusion on Liberty as to whether someone did touch it or not on their side. And Charleston Southern's just trying to down it, and you wind up in this rugby mess. We'll sort it all out. It'll be Liberty's possession near midfield when we come back. It is 7-0 Charleston Southern here on College Football Down South.
New Era Sports Broadcasting. Original productions and live music. Please visit www.7commedia.com.
We're back with Liberty getting the ball and Charleston Southern up 7, but Aaron Summers has an injury update for us. Aaron.
Johnson come off the field just moments ago. He was holding his stomach, kind of sat down on the bench, put his hands in his lap, was kind of leaning over in pain. The coach came over and asked if he needed somebody, started calling the athletic trainer over, and Johnson quickly waved them off and said that he was fine. I think it might have just been that he might have pulled something in the groin area. He kind of walked it off and looks like he's going to be fine to come back into the game.
Thank you, Aaron. The first down play for Liberty plowed into the line for just a couple yards, and so they'll set up in an I now, and Calvert will turn back around and go the other way with it. Good gainer and still going. Oh my goodness. Liberty finding the way through the tackles there, and Damian King coming up big and getting the first down.
Damian King is also one of those guys that was mentioned earlier in the week as far as just a guy that they just try to get into open field, into green space. If they feel like that, if they can get him into some green space, he is a guy that can really, really make you pay.
Calvert gives to Mosley. Mosley hammered at about the 38. They will bring him down. Rare that the first couple of guys can bring him down, but they hit him like brick walls on that.
Yeah, and the captain of the game, 43, Cruz, the linebacker for the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, came right up, laid a nice point of impact, licked on Mosley. That is a battle that you're going to want to watch between Mosley and Cruz.
Yeah, Mosley's going to walk that one off the field and get a breather. And Hickson is in his place, and Hickson gets the ball. He will try to plow through it. He meets Cruz now, and he got a yard, and that's about it.
Back-to-back plays for 43 Cruz, who we saw him be honored earlier in the ball game. And, of course, he is a standout middle linebacker, number 43, and just a fantastic football player for this Buccaneer defense. You can tell he's out there barking out orders right now, calling defenses, calling the schematic outlook for this Buccaneers prior to this 3rd and 5 Big play here for the Liberty Flames.
We go under 8 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Liberty with a 3rd and 5 play here. Calvert's got it. Stands firm and throws to his right. Gandy Golden is held up short. He tries to spin it, but they'd already whistled him. And it's going to be a 4th down and less than a yard. Which will be an interesting call here.
I'd be very surprised. I'd be almost shocked if he did not go for it here. Down 7-0, you still have ample time. And just as I say that, it looks like that he's going to be bringing out the beef for potentially a field goal opportunity. But no.
No, they're
the jumbo personnel.
They're keeping Calvert out there. Yeah,
I was going to say, I would have been very surprised had he not gone for it. His 4th and about 3 inches.
Well, they got a good kicker, but they're really kind of at the outer part of his range. So let's see what happens here. It's 7:28 to go in the quarter. Play clock counting down here as well on the Flames. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout instead of a play. Liberty will halt the clock for the moment and figure it out. So, like you said, you jumbo package and trying to assert themselves on the ground. Is that what you're doing here? Really just blasting this?
Well, I don't think it's any different than the situation that that Charleston Southern found themselves in on 4th and goal down here. Now, obviously, the greater reward, they were 4th and inches on the goal line.
Right.
This is out at midfield around the 30, still in field goal range. So if you want to get points, you still need to be able to convert this without putting your kicker into a very precarious situation for a long field goal. But honestly, the way that both of these offensive lines have played up until this point, don't forget Liberty's moved the ball. They've just shot themselves in the foot with penalties and with the turnover, very costly turnover. So I don't doubt for 1 second that he's just going to go straight forward, not get cute on this with the big heavies up front.
Calvert under center, barking things, trying to see if maybe he can get a free 5 out of this. Hickson's behind him. Hickson will get the ball, and he's got the 1st down. Not much more, but he didn't need much more.
No, that's about what we anticipated. Very few occasions are you not going to be able to get about 3 or 4 inches if you just fall forward and lumber forward from that fullback position. But you'd have to have a pretty spectacular play by one of your interior defensive line to shed a block on the snap of the ball to be able to thwart that in the backfield.
Yeah, the one risk there, of course, you're going up a team that's really among the best there is at tackles for loss, but they do get the positive yardage. Calvert fakes right, now throws up the right side, and there's a bit of a mix-up there. And contact there, and now a flag there as well. Could be holding.
It's going to be defensive holding on Charleston Southern. This will be a big penalty. Calvert was looking for the out and up. He was kind of going to go with a back shoulder throw down the sideline.
Was looking for King again, but King was turned around and wound up out of position, and CSU had a few things to do with that. Conference time among our officials.
They had 2 routes of parallel routes going down. One broke to the middle of the field going towards the end zone, and then one that was a go route on the sidelines. And you can see very simply that forced out of bounds. Now, if I'm Charleston Southern, I'm just telling you, if I were on that staff, I would be arguing dramatically that this was an uncatchable ball. That ball was well over his head, well out of bounds, but they're making the claim that the contact was made prior to the ball being there and being uncatchable. So.
And an important distinction, they call pass interference and mark it all the way to the 14-yard line. And now no backs, and Calvert's got 5 wides. High shotgun snap. Ellis in his face. Ellis falls off of him, but that just sets up the finish. My goodness, Brown finishes off what Ellis started. Oh. And that's a 1-2 punch that it's tough to avoid.
It really is. And Solomon Brown is one of those guys that, you know, he's from right around where I live in the upstate, and I've heard Solomon Brown's name for quite some time now. He is a high motor guy. His motor runs full speed all the time, and with Ellis and Brown in the backfield, I don't know that there's a quarterback in the country that can get away from that.
So they just marched off that penalty yardage basically back, but they still have the down markers are in the same place. They got a ways to go.
Yeah, they're going to set up a 3rd down here. It's 3rd and an Uber ride to be able to get a 1st down. For the Flames. They almost have to score in order to be able to get a fresh set of downs. So Liberty might be back in that same scenario that they found themselves in a few minutes ago with the field goal unit being on ready on the sidelines.
So 3rd and very long, 3rd and 18. They can get a 1st down if they can get it inside the 5. So let's see what the Flames dial up here And, of course, one would expect the Buccaneers to be putting pressure. The front four trying to get in. Ellis forcing his way in there. Calvert floats it. Right side, end zone. Gandy Golden. Is it a catch? It is! A touchdown. A great play from Calvert to Antonio Gandy Golden.
Wow, what a beautiful catch by Gandy Golden. Not a spectacular pass, so to speak. The ball kind of got up there in the air and floated in that wind. But Gandy Golden, who, look at this right here. Great job. Nice pump fake. Made the free safeties bite, and then look at Gandy Golden go up over and around. Great body position. He was able to compose his body up in the air at such an angle to be able to catch it over the back shoulder. And, of course, we've seen Cedarius Hopkins in on a lot of different plays today, but that time that Gandy Golden got the better of him.
He might have gotten away with a bit of a hold to keep Ellis at bay. He still almost got to Calvert, but Calvert floated it just where it needed to be, and Gandy Golden finishes it, and that's going to tie up this ball game.
Just like that.
Flames and Bucks, 7-7. 5.5 minutes remaining left here in the second quarter. Big South, final game of the year here on college football down south. Thank you very much. We can see the replays, and we can see, but there's still no graphics been on anything. So if you're going to font anything, you're really going to need to walk me through what you're putting up. Kickoff blasted out the end zone, and so it's a first down at the 25. Handoff to Schuler, or rather, they've actually switched that up. That one's going to be 26. Oh, he's through. Hamilton is all the way through. I'm about to note who the running back is. Well, you better write it down right now because that's a touchdown. Hamilton for CSU, spelling Schuler, says, I get a carry. I'm going to make the most of this right here and now. Tremendous. One more time.
Well, as you can see, I don't believe he ever made it to the ground, and I've never heard a whistle. But the only thing, if they show this replay, I'm not so sure his left elbow does not clearly rest on the ground. As we look at that replay, hopefully we'll get one more shot of it. But I am almost positive that when Terrence Wilson made that spin, I believe his left arm rested completely on the turf. And, of course, I was talking to the replay officials earlier before the game. And pretty good crew that they have down there now. And I believe if we could see that one more time, his left forearm hits the ground. I believe they're going to bring this one all the way back.
Yeah, they're going to look at it. I'd said 25 Hamilton is the other running back.
The
26 freshman. Terrence Wilson that they were bringing in to spell Schuler. We'd gotten used to Schuler on so many carries today.
And they look very similar body styles out there as well.
Yeah, they're both.
Yeah. So if you take a look right here, it's a good run nonetheless. Good lead blocking up front by the tight end. And then right here, as he spins and they're bringing him down the ground, boom, right there. His left forearm hits the ground with the ball intact. And I believe that one's going to come all the way back. And Liberty is going to catch him a break.
I'd given Wilson up for down, and I think Liberty did too.
Boom,
yeah,
right there.
That's probably going to.
That is some great camera work too by the college down south guys. Good job being able to focus in right on that arm.
Yeah, and you saw at that point a number of the Flames just stood straight up. They were done with the play, and Wilson did a good job of playing it through because the referees are going to tell you play it through.
And if there's one thing Charleston Southern should have done, they should have sprinted out there going with red field goal and kicked an extra point before they had a chance to review it. But nevertheless, good job by Wilson. Regardless of the fact that his forearm hit the ground, very athletic play by Wilson. Goodness, and just a true freshman. They've got a couple of years of yet that young man been able to make some plays around here.
So the officials go into the replay, and if it stands, it's a 75-yard rushing touchdown for Wilson. If it does not, and we don't think it will, it's going to be just a gain of a few yards there for Wilson, a nice little run, but they are starting to walk back.
Well, I think everybody has seen what we've seen by now long enough to know, and of course we have the luxury of having the Charleston Southern coaches right next door to us here in our broadcast booth, and they have already radioed down for everybody to start meandering their way back to the other end of the field. So I'm pretty sure they've seen the exact same thing, Mark, that you and I are privy to.
There's Will, this smile on his face. He's like, did I get away with it? No, maybe not. Maybe not.
Still, though, it's an athletic enough play that I guarantee you Coach Tucker goes, hey, let's go ahead and give that kid the rock a couple of more times. He deserves to tote the skin a little bit more if he can bust loose. And of course, it does help that everybody else on the field stopped. That does help your chances.
The run has come off the stat board. The score has come off the scoreboard. And so it's going to be second and about 8 yards in the end. All that fuss, and it winds up being a 2-3 yard gain. The officials are still talking to the booth to be sure of, I think probably at this point, a field position.
That's it. Yeah, that's all they're doing right now to make sure that they got the line of scrimmage accurate.
It was determined the runner was down at the 28-yard line. Second and 7, 28
So it's a 3-yard gain. Some hooting and hollering from the crowd, but the officials are right.
Yeah, as much as the home crowd over here would like for that not to be accurate. Wilson.
One last look. Wilson on the spin. Watch the arm. Down.
Boom. Right there. There you go. Good camera work right there to be able to set our sights on exactly where his left forearm touched down, and that is where the ball will be spotted, exactly where Wilson's forearm rested on the turf.
So second down. And Johnson will give the ball off to Wilson again. Nope, pulls it back out, keeps it, slips through, gets to about the 33. It'll set up a 3rd and 2. Another good option read there, and Johnson managed to get some decent yards out of that. Sets 3rd and short.
You know, don't forget, Johnson was the 3rd leading carrier on this ball club coming into the ball game at right at 5 yards a carry. So this is nothing new for him to be able to tut it between the tackles. This is a young man that knows how to pull it down in the zone read and in the option offense.
Wilson remains the back, and he's got the carry this time into the crowd, and he's not going to get anywhere. He needed 2, he got 1. Charleston Southern, very important to win the rushing battle. This year, Charleston Southern, when they outrush the opponent, they are 5-1, and when they don't, they are 0-4. And so far, they have been outgaining Liberty on the ground, but when they needed 2 on this one, they couldn't get the 2, and they're going to punt.
Yeah, Charleston Southern has outgained the Liberty Flames 121-95, and don't forget, a lot of that 95 came on the bomb from Calvert a few minutes ago, where he was able to toss the ball up to Gandy Golden for the big touchdown. So really, outside of the big pass play, it's been a Buck offense that's really dominated this first half.
And rushing-wise, it is pretty lopsided, actually, like 110-14, but that's part of the sack counted against them in the rushing yards as well. So Liberty got a big step back on that one. All right, so Liberty's got the ball. They're down in their own end, and it's still a tie game. They dodged a potential bullet there with Wilson, but we all knew he was down. And What do you come out with this time? What do you dial up if you're Gill and the Flames?
I don't think you do anything completely out of the ordinary here, because don't forget, this is a Liberty offense that knows how to throw the football, okay? This is not a team that comes out there and it being way off the charts to be able to have to throw it. This is not even a 2-minute type deal. You've got 4 minutes on the clock, 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So play your offense and spread the ball around.
Calvert whips it out to the left side, and King ducks under the tackle from Johnson there, and decent first down play. They get about 4 yards.
There's nothing you have to do special here. You don't have to worry about your timeouts a whole lot. You've got ample time to be able to move the football. I think if you're Liberty right now, you get it into your playmakers' hands. That is the biggest thing. Make sure that you try to get the ball into Mosley's hands and get him in open field and let him go make a play.
Calvert calls for it. Gives to Hickson. Hickson crosses the 20. Cruz and others get him there. Aaron's got some information for us on the sidelines. Aaron. I think we're having some audio issues with Aaron, perhaps, as we go under 3 minutes.
It's gotten awfully windy down there. I'm wondering if she's having...
In any case, there's 3 receivers to the right for Calvert. Calvert looks downfield, steps up in the pocket, looking deep, and overthrows King. King got a little tied up there. Brandon Rowland had an arm on him.
I was going to say the exact same thing, Mark. It looked like there was a lot of contact deep down the field. Now, you asked me what Liberty should do. Exact opposite of that. You know, they only chewed up a minute off the clock, and they're going to give the ball right back to the Buccaneers with ample time and good field position for Charleston Southern to be able to try to, if nothing else, you know, get a late field goal before the half. So that is not a very good outing for the Flames to go out there and not use up any clock and give up the field position and possession of the football.
So Trey Turner out to punt. He'll be kicking to Lindsey. Whistles, no kick. See what we got here. I don't see a flag. Must be a timeout. Yep. Liberty calls time. So here we are in a game where we talked about it up front. It's the strength on strength. Liberty's offense and Charleston Southern's defense we thought would be the headline. And if that's the battle, Charleston Southern's defense is kind of winning that battle.
I would agree with that. I also think the one other thing that you can look at is you're starting to see yesteryear play itself out again this year. You talk about a Liberty team that probably has maybe a few more athletes on their squad. Charleston Southern team that has not had their best season by their own admission. Liberty, who's looking to move up a conference, and they're looking to try to bolster their resume as far as being able to be the team of an independent status next year. But what you have seen 3 years in a row and now 4 years in a row, at least 4.5, is that Charleston came ready to play against this Liberty team, and especially late stretch in November, they're giving them all that the Flames want.
And ready to punt now, and the kick is away, trying the sideline, trying to avoid a return. It will skip. Good bounce for Liberty before it goes out of bounds. Into the cheerleaders. And you talk about the talent level and the athletes that are out there. Coach Tucker for Charleston Southern knows, boy, does he know. I wrote this one down because I wanted to get it right. When referring to Liberty's athletes, they're big, they're pretty, they've got talent.
Right.
All right, so that's how he referred to the. Well, I think we all know what he means. I mean, like, that's a good-looking group of student athletes they put together.
And just so you know, when I was playing, they always let off with the same thing: big, but athletic and pretty. I never got that. I never got the other two accolades. I always just got the first one.
I really.
I know that shocks you.
That is
I know
stunning.
that's very surprising
that is
to
stunning,
you.
Will. So we're here for college football down south. I'm Mark Bryant. That's Will Merritt. Aaron Summers is on the sideline for us. And we're late in the second quarter here in a tie ball game. Charleston Southern home on senior day with the ball, and Johnson a keeper all the way. He gets across the 30. Flag sails in late. Will this undo what would have been a 10-yard run for Johnson?
I believe this is going to be a hold on Charleston Southern. It's going to go back. It's pretty obvious call there in the backfield, and now there's a Liberty defensive lineman shaking up on the play, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is Russins.
Yeah,
I believe that's Russins.
I think was that.
Or is it Fisher?
Trying to make out whether that was a 55 or a 95. I think that's 55 Avery being helped off there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
The dreadlocks threw me off.
Yeah, he's number blocking. He's number blocking. But it was Avery coming off. And so Schuler is the back again. Speaking of dreadlocks blocking numbers, he's got a lot of hair, does Schuler. He's got a lot of yards today, too. London Johnson waiting the snap in shotgun. Gives off to Schuler. Room on the right. Boy, did he have room on the right. Across the 30 to the 40. Ankle tackle brings him down. Well, there's the big play they were looking for.
Yeah, if Brandon Tillman does not get a hand on him, and when we say shoestring, take a look at this. What a good job by Charleston Southern up front, washing everything down, pulling the backside guard. Nice lead block, and then Schuler in open field. And look at that. I'm not even sure he made full contact with his shoelaces, and he was able to come down. But Schuler is once again impressing everyone. Now Schuler knocking on the door of 100 yards here in the first half. And how about that average? Almost 7 yards a carry for Schuler. And listen, all of it has not been that easy. All of his yards have not come with that much green grass ahead of him. Schuler has been very physical running the football. That time, with just outstanding blocking up front by the swollen big boys up front, he was able to get into the second and third level without being touched before Tillman brings him down. If Tillman does not have that tackle there at the end, I'm not so sure that Schuler is walking across the goal line right now.
I think Gage Bostic was the hero there, number 54, for really sealing the end there. And gosh, there was just nothing left on this side for Liberty's defense till they got deep into the secondary. And so Charleston Southern, with less than 2 minutes to go here in the second, nearing midfield and trying to get a score snuck in before the break. Johnson looking left, throwing that way. He's got Wall. He's got a catch there inside the 40. Outstanding connection for the Buccaneers. Oh, there's a flag. Oh, well, there's been a few of those today where a good play gets undone. Let's see how this one translates.
Well, by the body language, it's on the Bucks and it's coming back. You see some Liberty players cheering the flag, but the laundry is on the line of scrimmage, so we'll have to see exactly what looks like. The line judge and the umpire now are conversing.
Illegal man downfield?
Yep.
Oh, dear. Someone released a little early on that.
Or if the tight end was covered and he went downfield, so we'd have to go back and look and see the alignment before we could make a determination.
Regardless, they are back behind where they started instead of 20 yards downfield. Puts a kink in the works for the Buccaneers just when it looked like they were going to be humming along. So 1st and 15 at their own 36. Johnson, pressure from his right, will keep it himself. He's got room through the middle, slides at the logo, and gets back into manageable distance.
And with the Bucks with one timeout left, they're probably going to try to go hurry up offense here, and then they'll call a timeout if needed on 3rd down. So you can see them lining up very quickly.
Johnson has protection, pulls the ball down, in trouble now. Wells has got him. And they might want to start thinking about that timeout if they're going to use it, if they want to do something with this possession.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Coach Tucker let that much time run off, but of course, and just really a breakdown in protection up front on the left tackle, and Liberty just pretty relentless off that corner. And Bracken Smith, redshirt sophomore, just got beat on the outside. Good job by power rush in by the Liberty Flames. And Liberty's really stepped up in a couple of big 3rd down conversions already, or else the Buccaneers could actually have a pretty handsome lead right now. This will be a few possessions in a row now that Liberty has been able to get the Bucks off the field after some success. Of course, Charleston Southern is their own worst enemy on this drive with the 2 big penalties.
And it looked to me also like Haralambous got rolled up kind of awkwardly. It's good to see that he's not down after that. But you talk about a breakdown in coverage. The breakdown was named Jawan Wells. That guy is a breakdown in offensive line coverage.
And he breaks a lot of people down and has all year long.
1:11 to go in the second quarter. Johnson has the snap. Looking downfield. Throwing here to the near side to Schuler, having come out of the backfield. Schuler rolls off the first contact. He is short of the first down and short of midfield. And it looks like they're going to have to punt this one away unless they want to roll some dice here. Liberty's going to call timeout. They want to preserve some clock.
I think that's a good call by Turner Gear to go ahead and burn that timeout, with Calvert having the big play arm with the downfield type passing that Calvert is capable of. And obviously we've already seen today what he can do when Gandy Golden gets out in open field. I had someone before the game, when I was talking to some guys earlier, I asked them about him, and they said that, you know, if you really want to have a comparison about what this young man looks like when he's on the field, they said Gandy Golden reminds them of a Randy Moss. And I'm like, well, that's a pretty big comparison.
That's a lofty one right there.
But then when you see him out there, he's what, 6'4", 6'5"? He's a 205-pound wide receiver. So there is a stature comparison. I'm not sure I'm ready to make the type of all-pro career comparison, but
right guard punting to Farrow. Farrow going far to his right. Ball will bounce and skip and go out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, perhaps the 13. And that would be where the Flames would get their start. You talk about Gandy Golden. Gandy Golden and King have each gotten more than 60 receptions this year. And that's the first tandem in conference history to be 60-60 guys.
Right.
That's just how prolific the offense is.
And we haven't seen necessarily everything that Calvert can do from that quarterback position using those weapons. Today he's only 85 yards in the air, 11 of 17 passing.
He's got Hickson in the backfield with him. Looking downfield, pressure from his left. Steps up, going deep, going too deep for King again. Overthrows.
And that's not what we've typically seen out of Calvert this year. When you watch film on the young man, his accuracy downfield has been phenomenal. So, you know, coming into this ball game, I mean, obviously his stats speak for themselves as he came in here. I mean, this is a young man that knew exactly where to put the football in so many situations. Came in averaging over 310 yards a game through the air.
Looking to throw again. Pressure coming around. He has to scramble. He's darting up the middle, and there's nothing in the middle. He'll slide down before any contact. Well beyond the first down. A decent run there because he took exactly what the defense gave him once they broke contain. Out to the 36 and hurrying up with 33 seconds remaining in the half. Calvert's got it again. Ellis trying to get to him. Room on the right side, and another good positive play with the clock rolling. Actually stopped for the first down, and it'll roll again.
Good job by Calvert to keep his feet moving. Now they'll spike it and be able to have a chance to survey the field on a second down conversion, but really good job by Reddick to get open. Cephas Reddick, the redshirt junior, of course, another big-time target for Calvert out there. It just seems like everybody they roll into that wide receiving core is just another huge weapon for this with this Red Flame offense. I will say also this: Calvert seems to be settling in a little bit here, Mark. It looks like he's finding his groove through the air.
No timeouts either way. 20 seconds on the clock. Flames at midfield. Calvert steps into it, pulls it down, and now lets it fly, looking the right side, and too far for Gandy Golden. There was no way he was going to catch that in bounds.
Well, I mean, no way he was going to catch it in bounds. He could have caught it at about the second row of the track. He taken off. He might have been in the 4x4 relay. He could have probably caught that one and taken it on around the track, but no chance he was going to catch that one inside of regulation. And here we go. 13 seconds. Looks like about 2 more plays is all that Liberty will have, and that's all they have resting on their downs as well. So 3rd and long. See what they dial up.
Farrow and Reddick near. Calvert fakes right now. Just a little shovel, a little flip to Hickson. What are they going to do there? The clock's not going to stop. They're not going to get another playoff, and they weren't going to even threaten the end zone on that one. It leaves a few heads scratching. I mean, it kept Calvert from getting hit, but that's about the only thing you could say positively for that, because that's how the half ends. And it ends 7-7. And if you had to guess who that favors on the face of it, you'd have to say Charleston Southern.
Well, I would say so. I mean, I think if you're going to look at both of these ball clubs and what they've done, I mean, statistically speaking, obviously CSU has this advantage, but we'll see what these head coaches have to say.
Speaking of head coaches, let's go down to, well, Aaron is working on getting one of those head coaches right now. We'll see if we can talk to one of our head men down there in just a moment. But in the meantime, again, 7-7 here at the break. Senior day in Charleston Southern. Temperature in the 70s, sunshine and breezy here in the South Carolina low country. And Liberty a week ago played a game at freezing temperatures, and so it's a bit of a flip for them from week to week. Okay, Aaron's got the coach now. Aaron.
Thanks, guys. Coach, it's been a battle in the trenches. What are you going to do to get your offense going more in the second half?
Offensively, we got to get our running game going. I think we got to get something, one or two plays that we feel good that we can get 5, 6, 8 yards going there. That's a key to our offense, getting the running game going, and then passing game where we're just a little bit off kilter, and we got to keep the ball in bounds.
You had that one interception that led to the score for Charleston Southern. What are you going to clean up here going into the second?
Well, we're just going to go in and talk about what we can get done from a standpoint of offensively. We want to run the ball. Then defensively, we got to make sure that we're solid on our gaps. They had a 1 or 2 wrong runs, so we got to get that corrected.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach Gill. Thank you, Aaron. And it is a tie ball game. We're at halftime in Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston Southern Buccaneers 7, Liberty Flames 7 in the Big South finale this year. All of it with more coming up here in halftime on college football down south.
Lightning, one of the most powerful forces in nature that can create fire. Now harness the power of lightning in the palm of your hand. Hi, I'm Hunter Ellis, and that's why I always carry the Tactical Atomic Lighter, the fuel-free rechargeable lighter that works anywhere, anytime. The secrets are lightning bolt technology. Just watch how quickly this incredible new plasma technology creates fire without gas or butane. Just press the button and it lights the first time, every time. You get over 100 lights on a single charge, and it's rechargeable by USB, so it's always good to go. From lighting birthday candles to cleaning up the end of a rope or firing up a stogie, it's the best. If you need fire, you need the Atomic Lighter. There's no flint, so even if it gets wet, it lights. Bonfires, barbecues, or backyard fireworks, nothing compares to the Atomic Lighter. Unlike feeble, pathetic lighters that blow out with a whisper, this thing will never let you down, even during the windiest rainstorm. Freeze it in a block of ice, it still works. Run it over with a 10-ton tactical vehicle, and it keeps on working. That's what I call Atomic Tough. The Atomic Lighter can be yours for just $19.99. You'll also get a lifetime guarantee, and you can personalize it with custom engraving up to 3 initials to keep or to give as a one-of-a-kind gift. And if you order now, you can double it and get a second Atomic Lighter, plus our best-selling Atomic Beam USA, the super bright tactical flashlight that lights up an entire room and can take a beating. From extreme temperatures to a sledgehammer. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now and we'll ship them to you for free. That's right. Get 2 Atomic Lighters, the Atomic Beam USA, and free shipping and handling. But you have to order right now. Here's how to get yours.
Call 1-800-377-7604. That's 1-800-377-7604, or visit atomiclighter.com. So call 1-800-377-7604. Deluxe version available. Order now.
Welcome back to Charleston Southern. We've ventured a little bit outside of the football stadium to check out the Buccaneers. Welcome back to Charleston Southern. We've ventured a little bit outside of the football stadium to check out the Buccaneers' new Athletic Performance Center. I'm here with strength and conditioning coach Chad Scott, and he's going to give us a look at this beautiful center that's right behind us that looks over this lovely little lake. So the entire facility is 8,000 square feet, and the strength and conditioning portion is 5,000 square feet. So we're about to take a look at that. But first of all, before we get started, what is this wall back here, and what does that mean to this program?
This is actually a big part of what we are and who we are and what we do. These are the old platforms in our old weight room. I believe these platforms were purchased with our first FBS game. I want to say we played University of Florida, and they outfitted our weight room through that. This signature right here means a lot to me. So Malcolm Dixon, he is actually our running backs coach right now. Malcolm was a quarterback when I came to Charleston Southern, and he was one of the first athletes that I met on my interview. And for him, you know, and he was a leader of the football team. He had experienced some injury in the past, and he rose above in 2013 that injury and actually really became a focal point of our success that year and then actually moving forward. And he's been a coach on staff ever since. And for our guys that now look at him as coach, there's a lot of other guys on this board that look at him as Malcolm the player. And then I personally look at Malcolm as the man. And in seeing him growing from this young boy to this man that he is today, that's what this board is about.
All right, let's take a look at some of the equipment.
Yeah, absolutely.
See lots of squat racks out here, lots of different dumbbells.
Yes, and you know what makes it nice is our dumbbells. We went with the power block dumbbells.
Yep.
And what I like about those is because essentially the entire thing is one rack of dumbbells. I mean, it goes from 12 pounds all the way up to 125 pounds, and then so our athletes can go to that one station, and you know, and they're not sitting there fighting for dumbbells all over the place. You know, and Sorinex, it's kind of neat what they did with their racks. You know, you can do the entire workout in that rack right there. You know, and we were able to just really add whatever we wanted to the rack. And so we can have athletes squatting on the inside. We can have athletes pressing on the outside. On the backs you know, you have lat pull-down machines that are connected. In the middle of the racks here, you know, in the bridge racks, we'll hang our suspension trainers and we'll do different things with that. And we'll have our med balls. You know, and these are really cool. These jammer arms, you can do a variety of things with these. You can do, and these are probably one of the better parts of our racks here. You know, we can do a lot. We can do pressing. We can do rotational stuff. We can sit there and we can have the guys doing some row stuff. Really, you know, whatever we need. And we got our little our boards here, and then we can do a leg press off of it. And then so it covers everything from strength building to rehabilitation to just training in general.
So you mentioned that you guys got to be here yesterday for the first time. You unveiled on Thursday, but yesterday was the first time that we got everybody in here working out.
It was, yeah. So yesterday morning we did the unveiling on Thursday night, and we had a few people popping in here and there from the football team and some of the other teams. And then at 6 a.m. we had baseball, and then softball and track came in, and then kind of the rest of the day just went throughout the teams. And you know, we opened it up, just anybody wanted to come in and get just kind of an open lift, play around a little bit, and we did a little open house and just kind of, you know, because at the end of the day, this is for the athletes. You know, they're the reason why I have a job. They're the reason why I feel called to do my job, and we want to just give back to them. And this is just our way of saying thank you to all that they've done, you know, and then kind of reward them with just a bigger space and more fun to play with.
And then after they have that hard workout, they get some snacks. So you can reward them with some nice nutritional snacks over here that I see.
So this is our new nutrition station, and our nutrition station is it covers a variety of purposes. You know, we'll have our Gatorade recovery shakes, bars, protein powder. We'll have our Gatorade drinks, and we have just water. And then what we can do is this is a fully serviced bar. It's going to range from cold items, from yogurt to cheeses to deli sandwiches to, you know, the favorite peanut butter and jelly. I mean, regardless of how old or how young, peanut butter and jelly seems to be always the case, you know.
That's always a good choice.
Yeah, and they love it, you know. So what we'll do is we'll have two people manning this at all times, whether it's our work study or we have a nutritionist. We work with Aramark on campus.
Okay.
So our director of dining services, he and I are kind of collaborating on some ideas. We'll offer fruit smoothies, protein shakes, different things like that for the athletes that come in throughout the day. And then also in the evening. So when maybe they're in the study hall and they're, after 9 o'clock or in the cafeteria is closed, they can come over here and kind of get a late night meal, and then we'll have this available to them. And then we were just blessed with, obviously, everything to work out the way that it did, and it's going to be a good addition to our program.
I'm sure everybody here is very excited. I'm sure the athletes are excited about getting here, and it's helpful with recruiting as well to have a facility like this to offer to your athletes.
Very much so. And these young men and women that are coming through today, they're the first ones to see it. So here until recently, it's been on a PowerPoint, and for them to see this live in person, I've already seen the eyes light up, and it's been fun to watch.
Very cool. Thank you so much for giving us a tour today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Independence, adventure, fun, community, discovery, all for $2,000. Motorcycling begins here.
It's spare time, and at Spare Time Entertainment, we've got just what you need. We've got games, we've got lanes, we've got food, and fun? Oh yeah, we've got fun. So when you've got a little time on your hands, make it spare time. Visit SpareTimeEntertainment.com.
It is a beautiful day in Charleston, and 70 degrees in November. What are you going to do? It's 7-7, Liberty and Charleston Southern. The band is playing. The atmosphere is great. Nice little breeze blowing here today, and some good football happening on both sides here today. Nobody really able to do anything really consistent or run away with it, but both sides really executing, particularly on the defensive end. And here's a look at how things are coming together. Total yards is almost a wash, but let's break that down. Rushing, it's Charleston. Passing, it's Liberty. Third downs, that's a wash. The turnover was big. That helped out Charleston Southern a good bit and hampered Liberty on their way. Penalties have been a story, Will.
Well, they really have, and Charleston Southern has had a couple of really just incredible opportunities, and there were some just very unfortunate penalties that called some big plays back. One that potentially they could have scored before the halftime, but Charleston Southern, there's really no surprise by this stat line other than the fact that we thought we'd have seen more points in this ball game, typically out of the Flames offensive unit. But really, Mark, this has been a pretty fair fight, I would say, between these two ball clubs.
The offensive star here so far has actually been Noah Schuler. He's got 11 carries for 74 yards for Charleston Southern. That's a 6.7-yard average. We've got to look at some of the plays from the first half, and there's Calvert, a little bit of trouble, and he's had to kind of adjust with that defensive line a lot today, and there's that interception. Such a good job of staying in bounds. Here's the touchdown. That was a 4th down play. That's an important thing to remember. 4th down play, and now Calvert and Gandy Golden. And what a catch that was for Gandy Golden. And those are the scores. Schuler from short yardage, Gandy Golden on the tricky reception, 7-7. And we'll be back with more in just moments here on College Football Down South.
Finally, there's a fast, easy, and effective way to help relieve low back pain in just minutes a day. Introducing Low Back Tracks. So effective, it's FDA cleared for relief of spinal degenerative joint disease, herniated discs, muscle spasms, spinal stenosis, low back pain, and even sciatica.
Hi, I'm Lori Grenier. I'm an inventor and entrepreneur, but many of you may know me as a shark on Shark Tank. I found Low Back Tracks because I had a loved one in pain, and I was so happy it really helped them. That's why I had to bring it to all of you, so now you can take your pain relief into your own hands.
It's so easy. Just lay on your back, bend your knees, and push. You'll be amazed at the relief. The secret is dual traction force, pushing your lower body and upper body away from each other, which results in traction, taking pressure off the spinal joints, discs, and nerves, providing life-changing pain relief.
My lower back, it hurts so much I can hardly get out of bed. After I started using the Low Back Tracks, now I'm back to my gardening, which I love.
You know, as a contractor, my body is my job, and I can't afford back pain. Low Back Tracks is the only thing that helped relieve my pain. And I can't believe how fast it made me feel better.
I suffered with back pain for years. That's why I developed Low Back Tracks. And with daily use, I'm virtually pain-free.
Low Back Tracks is FDA cleared for all of these causes of back pain. Pills can be dangerous. Doctor's visits are time-consuming and expensive. Get Low Back Tracks plus the instructional and stretch DVD for only $39.99. Hold everything. Call right now and you can get a second set. Just pay a separate fee. Plus, we'll even ship it to you free.
Low Back Tracks brought relief to many people I know, and I hope it brings relief to you too.
Call 1-800-727-5770 or order online at lowbacktracks.com.
Coach, you're outgaining Liberty on the ground. Is that something that you want to continue to do in the second half?
Absolutely, that's who we are. We need to be able to put our receivers in a position to make plays. You know, we've had some chances, had a few overthrows. There is a bit of an art form to throwing with the wind at your back. We need to continue to do what we're doing. We've had a couple of foolish penalties that have stalled drives. We just need to do it better.
Well, the team defensively is doing great. They set the Big South sack record with that one by Brown. So you have 32 sacks on the season. Have to be happy with the play for the defensive line.
We've been blessed. We recruited well. We've got talented young men in the box, and we've got young talent on the back end. They're no longer young. They've played 10 and a half football games now. So, we're excited. We've been excited about the way our defense plays for a long, long time, and that's obviously continuing.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys?
Thank you, Aaron. You heard a couple key words there. Regarding his defensive line, blessed. And there's a lot of talent there. Regarding the penalties, foolish. And that's an appropriate word.
And what I noticed about Coach Tucker earlier in the week is that he doesn't really mince words a whole lot. He's pretty much going to tell you exactly what he believes and what he thinks, but he's dead on. I mean, he's exactly right. I mean, the execution's the name of the game for any ball club out there, but really if Charleston Southern had done just a little better job of executing at pivotal moments, at very paramount times of that first half, Charleston Southern's probably winning this ball game by 2 touchdowns, or at least by 2 possessions. So I think he's dead on by what they have to do here in the second half.
Yeah, CSU is definitely accomplishing some of the things they set out to do when Calvert only has 106 yards passing for Liberty, when Mosley only has 19 yards rushing for Liberty, and Charleston Southern's getting it done running the ball themselves.
And there's 2 reasons for that. It's not just because Calvert has missed some targets downfield, although that has been a factor. He has overthrown some guys quite often downfield, but the pressure that CSU has gotten, the Buccaneers have gotten in the backfield and really forced him to move around the pocket. What's the one thing that Coach Gill talked about, that he did not like the way that Calvert threw the ball outside of the pocket? That's what he told us earlier in the week. What the Buccaneers have done is they gotten in the backfield, they forced him out of the pocket, making throws on the run where he's not at his best. So even though it might look like that Calvert's just overthrowing guys, chalk it up to that CSU defensive front by getting in the backfield, forcing him to have to throw in uncomfortable situations, and ultimately that's why you're still knotted up against the Liberty Flames.
And give a point to something that Coach Tucker slipped in there. Also, a number of those overthrows by Calvert were with the wind at his back, and that could be a factor out there too. The breeze has been blowing pretty good, and this kick is into the wind, and so it's short and fielded at about the 15, taken out to the 30, and we're underway here in the third quarter.
Well, a quick game too in the first half. Very, just from a clock standpoint, a very quick game, mainly because you saw so much of the running efforts by Mosley of the Flames, and of course with Schuler having the big first half, they kept the ball on the ground. That keeps the clock rolling, and thus you have a low-scoring game that was pretty rapid in that first 30 minutes of on-field competition.
And so it will remain Johnson. He's taken every snap in this game. They were playing it close to the vest. Who's going to be the quarterback? Well, Johnson's the man today.
And we've only seen just one time Busnell went and put his helmet on to look like he was going to warm up when Johnson had a little bit of an abdominal issue in the first half. Outside of that, he's taken every snap and done quite well.
And he's going to keep this one himself, taking about 2-3 yards. Get a modest gain on first down. We'll also have a chance of seeing the senior Robert Mitchell, who's had his moments here this year. He was the hero on that Gardner-Webb game, as we alluded to back in the first half. He also had some turnover problems when he got his chance to get back in the game at another week this year. So it's been up and down for Mitchell when he's had opportunities. But this is London Johnson, wearing number 1, getting the snap, keeping it, and throwing down the middle and behind his man. You know, he had Davis. He had him.
Wow. That's one that as soon as it left Johnson's hand, I guarantee he won a string on it to pull it back, because you do not find wide receivers that open streaking down the middle of the field very often. Just a tough throw there by Johnson to not be able to connect.
Opportunity lost. 3rd and 8. And one thing they don't want to do is come out of the locker room and 3 and out it and give it right back to Liberty. So they're going to have to execute on 3rd down here. Each team was 3 of 9 on 3rd down conversions in the first half. Hatton in motion. Schuler pulls, Johnson pulls out of Schuler, and now that ball is deflected. Tillman got a big hook on that one.
Well, that's twice today that we've seen Tillman make a play in open field. That time it was a pass deflection, but how about in the first half when Schuler was in open field with nothing but beautiful green grass ahead of him, heading to pay dirt, and Tillman comes out of nowhere with a shoestring touchdown saving tackle. So good day so far for the safety Tillman, who is definitely earning his stripes out there for the Flames out of Lexington, South Carolina, right down the road here.
Punt is away. High spiral to the near side. Will bounce at the 25. Good roll for Charleston Southern out at about the 16-yard line. And that's where the Flames will take over right after we take a break. It is 7-7, third quarter of play here in Charleston. You're watching college football down south.
Ouch. 80% of us suffer from low back pain. Finally, there's a fast, easy, and effective way to help relieve low back pain in just minutes a day. Introducing Low Back Tracks. So effective, it's FDA cleared for relief of spinal degenerative joint disease, herniated discs, muscle spasms, spinal stenosis, low back pain, and even sciatica.
Hi, I'm Lori Grenier. I'm an inventor and entrepreneur, but many of you may know me as a shark on Shark Tank. I found Low Back Tracks because I had a loved one in pain, and I was so happy it really helped them. That's why I had to bring it to all of you, so now you can take your pain relief into your own hands.
It's so easy. Just lay on your back, bend your knees, and push. You'll be amazed at the relief. The secret is dual traction force, pushing your lower body and upper body away from each other, which results in traction, taking pressure off the spinal joints, discs, and nerves, providing life-changing pain relief.
My lower back, it hurts so much I can hardly get out of bed. After I started using the Low Back Tracks, now I'm back to my gardening, which I love.
You know, as a contractor, my body is my job, and I can't afford back pain. Low Back Tracks is the only thing that helped relieve my pain. And I can't believe how fast it made me feel better.
I suffered with back pain for years. That's why I developed Low Back Tracks. And with daily use, I'm virtually pain-free.
Low Back Tracks is FDA cleared for all of these causes of back pain. Pills can be dangerous. Doctor's visits are time-consuming and expensive. Get Low Back Tracks plus the instructional and stretch DVD for only $39.99 and absolutely free shipping. Hold everything. Call right now and you can get a second set. Just pay a separate fee. Plus, your shipping is absolutely free.
Low Back Tracks brought relief to many people I know, and I hope it brings relief to you too.
Call 1-800-463-4022.
Get our first look at the Liberty offense here in the second half. See what adjustments may have been made in the locker room. Calvert sends Founts in motion across, and Hickson is the back. Hickson gets the ball, trying to work his way through. Nothing doing. Sosby is in there, and so is Brown. And when you got those two guys in front of you, you got nowhere to go.
Well, that's exactly right. Those are two names that if you know they're leading the charge, that is probably not going to be a great offensive play for you.
Calvert rolling left, throwing to the left side, and Gandy Golden just dishes off the first guy. Get out of my way, and gets the first down.
Well, that was really set up by them being able to get Anthony Ellis on the ground. They were able to cut block Anthony Ellis out there and give Calvert the ability to be able to survey the landscape. He'd been right in Calvert's face for the majority of the day. That time they cut him and chopped the big tree down, and he was able to see all available targets out there on the sidelines.
Going to have a little motion here before they can get that next snap up. That can be a problem when you're trying to get everybody moving quickly. Sometimes things don't get set just right. Someone gets a little antsy, perhaps.
Well, I'm not surprised at all that you're seeing Liberty go with a little bit more up-tempo. They've got to do something to shake things up. They've got to shake the tree and see what falls. I mean, they were just kind of very stagnant in the first half. You heard Coach Gill talking about it when he went into halftime. This was not a very good offensive performance by this Liberty Flame crew.
Farrow and King near side, Andy Golden far side. Hickson with the carry. He will get it to the 25, and that's about it. There's Charleston Southern going to try and make a claim on the ball. That's invalid claim on the ball. It's going to be second and about 12 coming off of the gain after the penalty. Three receivers to the wide side now as Calvert takes his second down snap. And he'll just give to Hickson. Hickson's got some room up the sideline, gets to the 30, across to the 31, and it's third and long still.
Well, and it looks like Liberty is just very close to busting a big play. Have you noticed that? It's just there's been a couple of plays today where you feel like they are just within inches of being able to bust loose for one of those big plays. Outside of Gandy Golden's big-time reception for a touchdown, Liberty's been kept at bay.
Bucks showing blitz from everywhere on that one, and Calvert's like, hold on, let's.
I think Charleston Southern was about to blitz 12 people.
Yeah,
I think
they were coming out of the stands on that one. They're still teeing up. Brown is ready in there, bringing some pressure. Standing in firm is Calvert, going downfield to Farrow. Farrow all tangled up, and the flag comes in late. The Buccaneers thought that one was already over, but pass interference is the preliminary signal against the Buccaneers.
Ooh, I'm going to take a look at this one. I'm not so sure that it's not the right call. I'm just surprised that it took him half an hour to throw it.
Flag stuck in the pocket, perhaps, as he tries to make the call on Hopkins. Here's another look.
That's this one's going to be argued on that Buccaneer sideline for sure.
It gives a first down to Liberty. They're on the move again. So Charleston Southern trying to quash that drive. It doesn't work. Drive stays alive thanks to the penalty. Hickson the carry, room to roam through the middle. There was an alley all the way across midfield and another first down. Wow, there was room for him there.
Man, look at this job up front. Good job of sealing the front side. The backside guard and tackle, all they have to do is seal to the out, and there was nobody in the middle for run support.
Way too high for King. Sailed by Calvert. Calvert wants that one back. He's a little frustrated, I think. So that slows things down for the moment. For more on Calvert, let's go down to Aaron.
Coach Gill was saying earlier this week that Calvert is very good quarterback, but he needs to learn how to place the ball better and allow his receivers an opportunity to get some yards after those catches. So we're seeing that a little bit here today, and I think that Coach Gill would like him to put those balls a little bit on the inside of his receivers so they can actually run with them as well.
Ellis and, thank you, Aaron. Ellis and Brown decided to have a meeting at the quarterback, and Calvert does not want to be in on that meeting. But, man, they had him dead to rights.
That is a couple of plays in a row where the defensive line of the Buccaneers has really just dominated the offensive line of Liberty, and that's not what we anticipated. We really thought that Liberty would be able to do a pretty good job of giving Calvert plenty of time to throw the football. Last 3 snaps of the football, that has not happened.
I think they took that run up the middle personally, maybe. They've marshaled the forces. Since Calvert steps up, snaps off the throw, and that is a perfect shot to Reddick. Man, they executed that one right through there, even in the face of the pressure.
Well, that's the Calvert that we anticipated seeing all game long.
That's Buckshot.
Look
right
at
there.
this. Yeah, Buckshot stands up in the pocket. Look at how the alleyway that he has to throw it and delivers a strike right there at the 30-yard line. So the Liberty Flames are now moving. They've got a fresh set of downs, and it looks like they are finding somewhat of a groove they did not have in half number 1.
Hand off to Hickson. Taps off the contact, works around the left end, and he's all the way to the 15. Did a great job of manufacturing extra yards out of that. Here's another look.
I think that the Liberty Flame offensive line took it personally, us talking about them, because the last couple of plays, boy, they have shown up.
Good job on Hickson skipping outside. Gandy Golden, positive yards here, 5 or 6 on the first down play. And that's exactly that's the Flames offense we kind of expected to see coming in, rolling.
Yes.
Positive yards, keep it moving, keep it quick. And they're ready for another one here, second down. Calvert looking end zone, looking Gandy Golden. Defense tight on him, and that's Hopkins again, I believe. And boy, they were practically wearing each other's jerseys on that one.
Yeah, Gandy Golden and Hopkins, they've been matched up on so many plays today. Gandy Golden got the better of him in the first half with the reach-around touchdown catch, and then on that play right there, trying to find a little magic by Gandy Golden there. But look at Liberty snapping the football with that last time they snapped it with 30 seconds still on the play clock.
3rd and 4. Calvert, a glance to the sideline, takes the snap, rolls a little to his right, snaps back to the left. And Gandy Golden was coming in for it, and Calvert was rushing it out, and they couldn't get in sync.
If all he has to do is lob this ball to Gandy Golden. He does not have to put any type of zip on it whatsoever, and Gandy Golden would walk into the end zone. They had that blocked absolutely perfectly on the exterior of that side of the field. And if Gandy Golden brings that ball down in the tunnel screen capacity, he is walking through the back of the end zone.
First field goal try of the day, and this will be Probert for Liberty. Sharp angle, but he has got this one up and good. One of the better kickers in the league. And that gives the Flames the lead. 10-7, Liberty on top. We'll step aside when Charleston Southern has the ball when we come back. You're watching college football down south.
Independence, adventure, fun, community, discovery, all for $2,000. Motorcycling begins here.
Seven for the Buccaneers. They scored first today. 10 for the Flames. They answered that touchdown in the second quarter with one of their own, and now have a field goal here in the third. So Liberty will kick this ball off. Taz Lindsay back deep for CSU, along with Shannon Hamilton. Lindsay is under it. Gets it at his own 10. Has an alley, is across the 20, 30, and to the 40-yard line. Zip, and he's upset he didn't get more.
Well, and he had every opportunity. Had he planted with the right and cut left to the middle of the field, there was a hole that you could drive a transfer trailer truck through. He had all kind of room to the left side, but he was his momentum going to the right side of the field. Did a really good job of getting the ball out. Looks like it's going to rest around the 41-yard line, so really good field position to start for the Buccaneers.
London Johnson remains the quarterback for Charleston Southern. Again, the Bucs scored first today, scoring first being a big deal for each of these teams, but the Liberty Flames were able to answer. That score held at halftime, that tie score. Now it's 10-7 Liberty with the first field goal of the day. Johnson gets the low snap, manages to get it away. And the run to the right side is going to be good for a handful of yards on first down. They've been good for that most of the time, and it's Wilson with the carry.
Of course, Wilson had that spectacular run in the first half
that wasn't
a spectacular. Well, it was still a spectacular run. It just didn't count for the 81 yards he thought it was going to. It was called back after about a 5-yard gain because it turned out that his left forearm touched the ground.
And so, second and medium distance down here for Johnson, calling for the ball. Gives to Wilson again. Wilson again, a good few yards, and he's going to be about 1 yard shy of the yard to gain. Liberty doing a good job massing toward the ball, but two very solid carries there by Terrence Wilson.
You know, we did not think that Wilson necessarily would be the featured back coming into this ball game. We knew that he would get some plays, but obviously we anticipated seeing a lot out of Harris and Hamilton and Schuler for sure.
So the 3rd and 1 play will be whistled, and lots of finger pointing. Looks like they're going to go back 5 yards, and that 3rd and 1 is going to become 3rd and 6 real quick. It will. False start. Another
man.
Coach Tucker called him foolish. He said undone by foolish penalties.
He is going to look back at this film, and they are going to kick themselves with every 3rd and short that they've turned into 3rd and longs. Every big time play, run, pass. Seems like they have done something to negate that and just absolutely kill drives.
They had gotten away with it for a while, but now they're trailing. And Liberty is a team you just can't give things away to. Johnson steps up. He's got a man. He's got a completion and a first down inside the Liberty 40. Cameron Brown, we haven't been able to call his name today. The explosive receiver gets a grab, and gosh, that's his first catch today, and they needed that.
And who would have thought that that was going to be Cameron Brown's, but good protection, good job keeping his eyes downfield. Boom, strike to Cameron Brown, and then, of course, goes down pretty quickly once he knew that he had first down yardage. Try to get that ball to Cameron Brown in stride and then go watch what he can do.
There was a torpedo aimed at his head. He did a good job to get down before he got hit with it. Johnson keeps himself now looking deep right. He was looking for Brown again, just sails it past everyone. And again, the wind at his back could have had something to do with it, but it was well overthrown.
Yeah, Cameron Brown, of course, came in being the team's leading receiver at 446 yards. You thought he was going to be targeted very often today, and that being his first catch of the contest just one play ago, they thought, hey, maybe we found a little something. Let's go right back to him. I would not be surprised, though, if Cameron Brown's name is not called again before the end of this contest with some big plays.
Davis and Wall to the near side. Brown is lined up top. Wilson is the back with Johnson. Wilson will get the carry. Gets to the 35. Pyle pushes forward for a couple more.
Well, that's just good running by Wilson. Every time he touches the ball, he's moving the pile.
Final game of the season for both squads. They're each 2-2 in conference. For Liberty, it also marks their final game as a Big South team, as an FCS team. They are transitioning to FBS play. They will play as an independent starting next year. Charleston Southern, of course, has had a share of titles in recent years. This year, not playing for that. Wall manages to get the fingertip catch and get to the 30 and push forward. I believe he's got himself a first down.
And I believe that is a first down solely off of what Liberty did. They had him tackled short of a first down, and watch this at the end of the play. Wall catches it, turns, gets upfield, then watch them work against each other.
Yep,
Liberty's guys actually propelled him to a first down.
Thanks for the assist, says Wall and the Bucks. And it's 1st and 10 at the 27. Buccaneers have something going here. Managed to overcome penalty yardage. Some good runs, some nice pass plays. A pitch on the option to Wilson on the right side. Can he elude the first contact? No is the answer. And a short gain, maybe 2 yards or so on the play. That Espinoza, I believe, on the tackle.
Whole different personnel subbing in for Charleston Southern. You see 3 wide receivers coming off, the 3 leading receivers on the squad coming off, 3 new receivers coming into the game. Whole new package. Makes you think that it would probably be a blocking package, wide receiving core, instead of a passing, but you never know, trying to mix up formations. But you'd tend to think that that crew would be more of a stalk blocking group. And it
Johnson pulls the ball out, keeps it himself. Try in the middle. Past Espinoza, stumbling forward inside the 20. He's going to be just shy of the first down, I do believe. Yep, they're going to mark him at the 19. They need to get beyond the 18. 3rd and short coming up.
So you see that the Buccaneers had a complete personnel change. And as they do, Johnson's able to find those guys on the outside that do such a good job of blocking for him. If he keeps his feet there, man, who knows where that play ends up.
Yeah, Irons and Espinoza in there at the point of contact managed to get him tripped just enough. He'll keep this one. No, he'll pitch it out to Wilson. The ball is on the ground. The ball is still loose. Wilson diving in for it, and I believe the Flames have got it. That play never came together. They couldn't connect on the pitch, and they give the ball away at a crucial juncture.
Wow. Boy, I tell you what, Charleston Southern would love to have that one back, but good job by Liberty of bending and not breaking. Got good push down the line of scrimmage, and the pitch was just way too hard and outside for Wilson to be able to handle. He tried to get the ball out of bounds. You could tell, and he tried to swat it out of bounds to maintain possession, but good pursuit by Liberty to jump on the ball.
Turner got that one, and Liberty will have the ball when we come back. The Flames with the lead here on college football down south. Am I tossing to Aaron, or are you starting with her? Just when you thought Charleston Southern was driving to even it up or take a lead, they give the ball away. They disconnect on the pitch, and Turner zeroes in on the ball. And right back at it, Calvert with the throw and the connection to Gandy Golden. Who else? He's still fighting for yards to midfield. Boy, he's dragging people to the 50. Gandy Golden comes up. Well, Golden, huge gain on first down. Aaron's got more on that turnover.
Guys, that fumble recovery is another Nerf ball for the turnover trash can. Yes, it started a few games ago when Liberty was going through that 4-game losing streak. They decided they needed some motivation, and they started a turnover trash can where they let the players who were involved in the fumble or the interception sign a football and then throw it into the trash can. You know, in the past 4 weeks, they've had 10 turnovers now. In the first 6 games, they only had 7. So I guess it's working.
Thank you, Aaron. That's modern motivation for you. Turnover chain, turnover trash can, turnover shoulder pads. They didn't have that when you were playing.
No, the trash cans on the sidelines were usually for us to throw up in when we were trying to get through
That's
a game.
because they wouldn't let you have any water, man. That was a whole different. That's a whole different deal. Well, there was an egregious face mask on that last play.
Yeah,
that was obvious to everyone in the building. And another free 15 yards for Liberty just when they're already, on the move. Going up top, Gandy Golden looking toward the goal line. Boy, he comes back for the ball. Did he get it? No, he did not complete the catch. Oh my.
I thought he made a one-handed beautiful grab.
Well, the official, I think, wasn't sure at first, but he says incomplete. Let's have a good look at this.
All right, so a lot of contact. Changes the direction, one-handed, the tip of the ball hits the turf. That was within just inches of being a spectacular play.
Antonio Gandy Golden couldn't play last week. Liberty still was firing on all cylinders on offense. then you watch this guy. This is what they were missing last week. Still did well, and now they put him right back in. It took a while almost to get him going, but now that they've got him really engaged, he's got 8 catches and 91 yards and a touchdown.
And it's just like any type of big-time receiver. And Gandy Golden, look at this. This is the second time we've seen him alter his body in mid-air to go make a play. The first time he came down with it for a touchdown. That time he does come down with it, but the ball did pop loose long enough to hit the grass, and so it's ruled incomplete. But it's like any other guy. When you start to find that rhythm and you get in that rhythmic nature with a quarterback and you start to know, hey, if I put the ball back shoulder, he's going to come back to it. Or if I float it out the middle, he'll run it down. And Gandy Golden's one of those guys that he's just such a big guy. Like we said, 6'4", 6'5". When you alter that type of height in the air, that's a big target for a quarterback to float the ball up to. And that's what Calvert has done on quite a few occasions. I anticipate that Turner Gill is about to sling the football towards 11's direction one more time.
Half of Calvert's passing yards are to Gandy Golden. Calvert will snap it to King here, and King's got room. King's got lots of room. He was almost looking for, where are they? He was, where's the contact? And Brown finally finds him.
That's the exact same play call that Liberty ran a few plays ago when they were down on the goal line. It was intended for Gandy Golden, and he overthrew it. That's the exact same play, tunnel screen on the left hash. That time he converts it, and King runs for 20 yards.
Hickson in the backfield with Calvert. Calvert to his left to King. King loses his footing a little bit, manages to keep it going. Johnson brings him down right at the sideline. That'll set up a second and about 5 yards here. And they're already ready to go at the 10-yard line. Calvert looks right, looks end zone.
Touchdown.
And that is a touchdown. Liberty Flames, and, well, who else? Antonio Gandy Golden receives his second touchdown today.
Oh, this is a beautiful strike by Calvert. Put it right to where only Gandy Golden can catch it. Very sure-handed wide receiver. Look at him catch it with his hands.
Ooh. He had to wrestle with it a little bit, but he got it. He corralled it before he wound up on the ground. He's like, last time they charged me with the ground. This time I'm going to find it first, and he did. A little bit of a bobble, but he's got such control and such focus on the ball. And Liberty now going to kick to try and get up 10 points and see if they can control this game. Charleston Southern's going to have a drive where they don't undo themselves with penalties or turnovers. Penalties and turnovers have really undone Charleston Southern.
That's the name of the game for them right now. If you take away their pivotal turnovers and their very pivotal penalties, this is a completely different contest right now. But Charleston Southern's still right there with just 2 possessions with a whole quarter and 2 and some change to play. So they still have about 18 minutes of football to be able to climb right back in this thing.
So Probert with the kick, and that is blocked. Charleston Southern, will they have an opportunity to return? They won't get it very far, but they keep it at a 9-point game. We'll have to see if that rears its head later on. That could mean something.
Yeah, it's interesting. It sure does make it, from a mathematical perspective, it sure does make the outcome going to be a little bit more intriguing.
So here we are with 2:43 left in the third quarter of play. Liberty on top with the touchdown to Gandy Golden. Both touchdowns to Gandy Golden today. He's over 100 yards receiving. Charleston Southern saves a little face by blocking the extra point attempt, keeping it to 9 as a margin. But they're going to have to find the end zone again themselves. They are really having a hard time finishing these drives.
They really are, and this is one of those situations where I think Charleston Southern has got to come out and maybe even change their approach a little bit, where they have been so just heavy run-oriented. Well, the last couple of outings, Liberty has found a little bit of an answer for their running game. I know that Wilson and Schuler, everybody's having a good day for Charleston Southern on the statistical equation. But however, Charleston Southern is going to have to find a way to put the ball in the air and chew up some big yards in a hurry.
And do they stick with Johnson is another question. That ball will bounce, and that's enough time for Liberty to gather up their forces and be sure there's not much of a return there. 27-yard line is where the Buccaneers will resume. And I'm looking down there, and at the moment, Bushnell is next to Coach.
That's right.
But there's a lot of guys in this huddle, so I'm not going to. Mitchell is there behind Bushnell, but he's got helmet in hand, so you know he's not going out there. And I was trying to spot, yeah, London Johnson still in the middle of it, and he is going to take the field yet again. So after some hemming and hawing about who you'll see or how many you'll see, it's been one guy all day. And they're putting the trust in Johnson to make something happen. Looks right, throws left. Cameron Brown just flat drops it. That ball bit him.
And that is unlike Cameron Brown. Very sure-handed guy.
He may have.
He was looking to turn and run long before the ball was corralled.
Exactly where I was going with that. It looked like he was ready to pivot before he had possession. And that's the kind of mistake you can't afford to make. Just throws the down away. 2nd and 10 at their own 27. 2.5 or so remaining here in the third quarter. So far, the better adjustments seeming to come from Liberty, but Charleston Southern was able to move the ball. Wells with pressure in Johnson's face. Johnson's throw is complete to Brown. Beyond midfield, big gain for the Buccaneers. They've been looking for that for a while.
Well, give Johnson credit. Look at the pressure that comes on him. Boom, takes a shot right there as he delivers the ball. But Brown's able to settle underneath it, get both feet in bounds, although only needed one. Was able to get
straight up NFL catch right there. He double tapped.
That's right. He looks like an NFL type receiver as well.
So the Buccaneers get a big play. Can they keep it rolling? That was 26 yards on the completion. Johnson will keep it himself and meet the Flames. And they're pumped up about that stop, no doubt. Number 44, Deavante Brown, was involved in that one, and he liked it. He liked it a lot.
He did. He's trying to excite that defensive unit of the Flames and say, look, guys, you know what? This thing's not over. We might be entering the fourth quarter and the last quarter of the season. We got to still play ball because it's 2 possessions, and as we know, Charleston Southern has that big strike capability.
Johnson keeps, looks downfield, overthrows his man. He was trying to get Schuler streaking downfield. Hadn't seen Schuler, hadn't called his name in a little while here.
Yeah, Wilson has taken the majority of the carries here in the second half, where Schuler watched, but now they're trying to get Schuler in on the passing attack. And of course, on the year, you know, this is not a guy that has caught a bunch of passes. Schuler has only called, think about just a handful of passes on the whole season.
Minute 25 remaining in the third. Schuler and Harris in the backfield. Harris gets the pitch. Harris trying to find his way through the right. And a flag sails in late. It's a first down if it stands, but oh, the penalties. One of those days. Jerry Wellmaker, the referee, conferring with the other officials to see where this one is going.
Wow, if this is on Charleston Southern, they are just going to have to look back at this and go, what could have been had they just been able to play a penalty-free game.
It is. And they're going to get a sideline warning as a bonus. Oh, boy. Or actually, is the sideline warning on the other side? Are we offsetting here? No, he's going to march it. Okay, so it is going to be 3rd and 5.
Well, the warning is
right.
Simply that.
Yes.
It's not a enforceable penalty.
Yeah, for a moment, I thought he was indicating something was offsetting, but I think he was just indicating that about the warning itself. And so with that, we're counting down under a minute remaining in the period. 16-7 is the score favoring Liberty. Charleston Southern trying to drive and answer, and whistles. Timeout, Charleston Southern. Oh, are they going to want that one back later? in a game as close and as difficult as this one has been, those timeouts are going to be valuable currency in this fourth quarter upcoming. But they've spent one here.
Yeah, and that's one that, you know, honestly, going into the fourth quarter, if you're Coach Tucker, you're exactly right, Mark. You want to hang on to those. That's gold for you, especially if you are able to score some points here and know that you're going to have a final drive to be able to potentially win this one. But regardless, he's burning it. So let's see what he dials up here on a 3rd and medium. He's got plenty of time to come up with something to at least keep the drive alive, get a first down, and hopefully be able to get this thing back in one possession. The other thing, flip side, Liberty has done a really good job of starting to answer some of the things that that CSU was doing very well in the first half.
Spirit here in Charleston for senior day. 3rd and 5, last game of the season. Johnson looks to throw. Davis open. Davis gets popped. Sometimes you see flags on contact like that. Not this time. Wasn't quite egregious enough to merit that. But you do get the defenseless receiver sometimes on those after the ball is away.
Boy, he sure had an opportunity there, didn't he? Davis running across the field. If he catches that in stride, he will add to that average that he was boasting when he came into this contest, because Davis came in here being one of the better receivers on this team. 3rd on the team and averaging just under 20 yards.
4th down, they're not going anywhere. 4th down and 5. The Buccaneers are going for it. Johnson back to pass, pressure from the ends. Wells behind him, runs with it across the 30, across the 20. Johnson comes up big when they need him most. First down, Buccaneers.
Boy, that is a good decision by Johnson to pull it in. Look at this right here. Nobody in the middle. Spine Johnson to boom. The nice stick and run up the middle. Look at the head fake, making guys miss all the way downfield. Johnson shows you exactly why this staff was excited about what he could do once he got flushed out of the pocket.
Schuler and Harris in the backfield. Davis and Dinkins to the near side. Johnson will keep again. Bounces outside, still going inside the 10. They're like, this is your ball game, young man.
Yeah, they really are. They're putting a lot on his ability to rush the football. And that's going to be our last snap before both of these teams enter their final quarter of play on the season.
Liberty Flames 16, Charleston Southern Buccaneers 7. On a warm November day that you'd swear was early in the season, not late in the season, but we are heading into the 4th quarter of play. Big 15 minutes ahead, so don't go anywhere. You're watching college football down south. The Buccaneers are knocking as we enter the fourth quarter. London Johnson, the quarterback for CSU, has been asked to do a lot of it himself here. This time he'll hand off to Harris. Harris tries the middle, and he meets a very stout defensive line. And Aaron Summers has some for us on the sideline.
You saw the strength and conditioning coach Chad Scott earlier at halftime, and he was telling me that their motto is 86,400, and that's how many seconds are in a day. He said it's very important you don't spend those seconds, but you invest them, because that's when you get a return, is on those investments. So that's what they're trying to do here today.
Thank you, Aaron. They're trying to invest some precious seconds right here. 3rd and short. Johnson spins around. I don't know if that's a busted play, but Harris was nowhere to be found. Johnson's looking for the end zone. He's going to get there. Oh, my goodness. London Johnson. That drive, he should sign that drive. That was all him.
That was 100% number one. Okay, and Aaron just talked about 86,400 seconds, and it took him about 10 seconds to find the end zone on a busted play. But that was 10 seconds well invested, like Aaron talked about. Look at this. Rolling out of the pocket, nice little pump fake, keeps the end frozen. And then look at the ability to have the vision to cut back to the end zone. Great job by Johnson on that drive. Really, you said it best, Mark. That drive was all him. He needs to be given the game ball if they pull this out just for that drive by itself.
Extra point would, oh, they bobble the snap, still get it up there. Oh, that would have been interesting. Yeah, because that makes it 2. They almost botched it, but they got it. They got it, and so it's a 2-point game. Very interesting. Drama here in the fourth quarter, so stick around. More coming up here on college football down south. You guys don't have anything that could do an out-of-town scoreboard or anything, do you? All 3 conference games are in progress right now.
And it's game on, 4th and 18. Friends rushing the party in under an hour. Supermom's headed for the snack aisle. Ooh, this one's a scramble. It's all come down to this. Look at that air. She's got it. And there's that signature double pour. Crisp chips, crunchy pretzels. This crowd's gone crazy.
We did it, honey. Best party ever.
Yeah, we did it.
Let's go for the glory.
It's spare time, and at Spare Time Entertainment, we've got just what you need. We've got games, we've got lanes, we've got food, and fun? Oh yeah, we've got fun. So when you've got a little time on your hands, make it spare time. Visit SpareTimeEntertainment.com.
London Johnson led a drive that was 9 plays, 73 yards in 3 minutes there. 8-yard rushing touchdown, capped it, but it was a whole lot of London Johnson. On the day, he's got 13 carries for 84 yards. And ball blows off the tee again. Now, close games all across the conference, actually. There's 3 games in the Big South. They're all happening right now. It's 16-14 here. At Presbyterian, PC is up 10-7 on Gardner-Webb. And those 2 teams, somebody's going to get their first conference win on the last day. It's been a rough season there in spots for those guys. But the battle that's going to determine who gets the automatic qualifier, who's the conference champion, that's happening at Kennesaw. Kennesaw State is up 14-7 in the first quarter against Monmouth. So you can go check that one out after this one is done, because this is 16-14. We got a
dandy on our hands.
We got a good one. So you'll have plenty of chance to see what they do after we're done here. And what is Liberty going to do in response? And how big is that extra point going to be? It's a 2-point game. The kick is away. And the Flames will have their opportunity starting at the 10-yard line. Room in the middle. And they'll get out all the way to the 37. Hickson on the return.
Now, I'm fascinated to see how Liberty comes out and approaches the game now. When you had the 2-possession lead, Liberty was able to run the football, try to chew up some of that clock. You saw them being pretty conservative. It's not necessarily Liberty's style, though, Mark. You know, this is a team that likes to throw the football, and they have had so much success throwing it to get the lead. So do they come back out, spread the field, and continue to throw it as they have? Or is this a team that's trying to hold on and milk as much clock as possible?
Gandy Golden split all the way on the right side. Hickson behind Calvert. Calvert throws over to Reddick. Reddick met and dropped at about the 43, 44-yard line. So here we are with under 14 minutes to go. Clock rolling in the fourth quarter. The Liberty Flames with a lead, but a very small one here. Calvert hands the ball off. Hickson is blasted by Cruz after a short gain.
Well, I don't know how many times that we have seen Cruz just fill that A gap and take on the runner just head to head right there in the middle of the field. Cruz was a captain of the day, captain of his senior day, captain of the last ball game he's ever going to play here. And boy, is he making the most of his opportunity.
Calvert put Fouts on the other side of the formation. Couple claps there as he's changed up the signals now.
Look at the far side of the field and the matchup that you have over there. The same one we've been talking about all game long with Gandy Golden.
Hickson changes up sides. Calvert looking right side, and he got Gandy Golden. And Gandy Golden comes off first contact. He says, "Come with me. I'm going to drag you forward a few." First down, Liberty Flames in Charleston Southern Territory.
As soon as I looked up and saw he had one-on-one coverage on the short side of the field and Charleston Southern was not rolling a safety over there for a too-deep look to be able to cover him, I knew that that's where Liberty was going to go with the football. And now you see Charleston Southern making some adjustments to have the weak side safety be able to roll that direction.
Calvert looks right. Now pressure, and he's going to get dropped. Oh my goodness, Robinson up in his face. Johnny Robinson, Anthony Ellis's cousin and defensive line mate up there up front. He's got all of him right here. Look at that.
And honestly, look at what the adjustment that Charleston Southern made right before the snap of the ball. As I said, they did not allow Gandy Golden to have one-on-one defensive pressure out there. They rolled the safety over. What did Calvert do? He took the snap, looked directly towards number 11, Gandy Golden. He was covered, and therefore secondary allows the defensive front to get there for the sack.
They empty the backfield. Calvert looks right, throws left. King has it. He's got nowhere to go, and Cruz is right there. Third and long.
And I'll tell you, Mark, you made a great point about how Charleston Southern loves to live in the backfield. Today, 5 tackles for loss for Charleston Southern. So the Buccaneers now continuing that streak of loving to harass the offense on their side of the line of scrimmage.
No backs. Calvert in shotgun, calling for the ball. Third and long. Call it 15. Calvert pressure. Throws right, deep, and beyond everybody. King was closest to it, but it just sails. No chance for a connection.
And look at the flags across the field right now. You can see the wind is violently blowing right to left. And when that ball got up in the air, it just kept going. It kept rising.
Calvert's had his share of overthrows today, and a lot of them have come this direction with the wind at his back. So he still hasn't been able to gauge that or compensate for it, and they're going to have to punt the ball away. Charleston Southern will get possession in the fourth quarter, down 2, and the plot thickens. So Turner ready to punt. Lindsey back deep. Lindsey's had some nice returns today. Kick is away, and this will go way over his head and go into the end zone on one bounce. So with about 11 minutes to go, Charleston Southern will take over And London Johnson was the man on the last drive. What will they go with here? Is that more of the same? I'd think he'd be fairly tired out after the last go-round.
Yeah, but I think I'll run him until his legs fall off the way he's playing right now. I'll let the bottom of his cleats be worn like slippers by the time this game is over, because that young man on the last drive, every time the play broke down from a passing perspective, he was able to tuck it, run, and make something out of nothing. And I believe that I would just let Johnson continue to do more of the same and try to get this crew at least in the field goal range to be able to take back this lead.
The word dynamic has been applied to London Johnson. It's pretty apt. And he's got Schuler in the backfield, and Harris fakes the handoff and delivers a wobbler over the middle, and Davis was there.
Somebody get a hand on that at the line of scrimmage?
I don't
like it was misdirected.
It left awkward, but I don't know. 16-14 is our score. A missed extra point for Liberty is what makes this a 2-point margin. A blocked extra point, I should say. So Dinkins goes up top. Davis is also to the left. In the backfield, you've got Schuler and Harris. They'll do an option look left, pitch back to Harris, who manages to get it from behind him. Good yardage there. Will set up a third and manageable down here.
That might be Harris's best catch of the year.
Yeah. We've already seen a pitch go bad. They can't afford to do it in negative territory here. They did that while driving in Liberty territory earlier in this half. So with some realignment of personnel, we go to a 3rd and 4. Hatton in motion. Snap to Johnson. Looking left all the way, and great catch! That is Cameron Brown again, coming up big and getting the first down. One more time, the extension on the arms.
And here you see a nice strike, and Cameron Brown extends all the way out. It makes it that much more comical how he dropped the one a little bit ago when it just hit him right in the hands. He, like I said, he's a sure-handed guy, so dropping a wide open pass is very much not the norm for him.
Johnson to Wall out here on the right. He's not got a lot of room to go. There's flames everywhere, and he'll get it across the 40, but it's a 2-yard gain at best. We've gone under 10 minutes, and for Charleston Southern, ideal scenario is a nice time-consuming drive with points at the end, because if they can score at the end of this, they'll have the lead and have reduced the time for Liberty to work. 2nd and 8. Johnson's got it, fakes to Schuler, now goes downfield, and he's got Brown, and Brown gets it inside the 10.
What a beautiful pass by Johnson. Goodness, this could not have been dropped any better, where Cameron Brown catches it in stride and then yards after the catch. And look at how he floats this ball up there. The crown of the football is at the apex just like you like it, and drops it down. And Brown was just one ankle away from being able to get that ball in the end zone. That is Cameron Brown doing what Cameron Brown has done all year.
Jeremy Peters manages to make the tackle, but that ball was over him. The receiver was past him. He did a good job recovering before Brown could score with it. But so much for time-consuming drive. They're in scoring, striking range here quickly.
And you got to remember, too, the Flames have all 3 of their timeouts left. So even if they weren't able to chew up some clock, Liberty can still hang on to the football for quite some time, being able to stop it if they need extra time.
It's a goal-to-go situation. It'll be 2nd down at the 9. There's London Johnson. He's got Schuler with him in the backfield. Oh, snap comes off the hands of Johnson. Does a good job to lay on it.
What has been the theme of the day for Charleston Southern?
They almost gave up. I mean, the goose that laid the golden egg right there. They were just, they're in such a good opportunity here. Obviously, they're in field goal range, even if things go south on the touchdown, but a turnover, well, that changes everything. Ooh. Good reaction by Johnson. They can't afford that. Here comes the third down play. 3rd and goal to go. Johnson gives off to Harris. Harris will manages to get around the first tackle, but he's out of bounds, and he's well short of the goal line. They managed to get it back to the 7, and that should set up TCAC for a go-ahead field goal attempt, I would expect. And the kicking unit is coming onto the field, and Charleston Southern will try to regain the lead that they hadn't had since it was 7-0. Charleston Southern opened the scoring today.
Well, with a right-footed kicker, you want the ball on the left hash, so they actually have the ball where they wanted to. So by taking that ball over the left tackle, you were able to spot it on the left hash, which is preferable by most right-footed kickers.
Tyler TCAC, as we go under 7 minutes to play. Kick is up. It is good. And CSU is up 17-16. Oh, for a blocked extra point. The difference right now in this one. 6:51 to play, and you are watching college football down south.
Independence, adventure, fun, community, discovery, all for $2,000. Motorcycling begins here. We're good. Bucky likes it. Cheerleaders like it. It's under 7 minutes now, and the Buccaneers have the lead, but the Flames are going to have the ball. Hickson, an explosive return man, waiting on the kick.
Well, that's what you thought you were going to get out of a Liberty versus Charleston Southern football game in November. This is a game that has come down to the wire multiple times. Of course, Charleston Southern with 3 consecutive wins, and now with a 1-point lead, trying to spoil Liberty's very last game ever in the Big South. They are clinging to that 1-point lead, and the Flames will get the ball back with the 6 and some change to go. With all 3 timeouts, they have plenty of clock to be able to methodically take the ball down the field, but that is not where Liberty has had their success today. It has been on the arm of Calvert and on the sure hands of Gandy Golden.
Calvert's got 234 yards passing, and 113 of those yards to Antonio Gandy Golden. They're going to go with the low skipper. They don't want Hickson to get this ball. But it's still trouble across the 40. Liberty will have excellent field position. No one expected the return to come from Kennedy, the fullback. But there you go. Kennedy got his first career touchdown last week. He's a redshirt senior, and he got his first touchdown last week against PC. A little love for the fullback they had there. 1 yard touchdown.
Hey, I love it. Everybody wants to find a way to score.
So here we go. Again, resetting it for you. At 17-16, Charleston Southern the 1-point lead. Liberty has the ball. 6:50 to play in the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 near midfield for Stephen Calvert. Keeps it. Throws it. He's got Farrow who drops it, and a good job by Hopkins to break it up. Oh, my goodness. That was close.
Well, Farrow's been one of those guys today that we didn't know if he was going to go full speed. Quite a few of those with Liberty, but look at this right here. Beautiful pass by Calvert. I mean, really a catchable ball. Farrow is one of about 4 or 5 guys we didn't know if they'd be 100%, but he's out there doing everything he can for a late push comeback for the Flames.
2nd and 10. Pressure coming from the right, and the ball dropped by Gandy Golden. Had to kind of reach back for it, but you know he can make the tricky catch. Not to be, and 3rd and 10 after 2 incompletions. Liberty trying not to do a quick 3 and out after getting the ball while trailing here in the 4th. See what they've got in the bag for 3rd and 10 at midfield. King and Gandy Golden to the short side. No backs for Calvert. Ellis coming in from the defensive right. Ellis up in Calvert's face, forces him to roll. The cannot complete it out of bounds. King trying to come back for it. Cannot complete the catch in bounds.
Wow, this is going to be fun to look at the replay on this one because I thought he brought it in. Oh, we got another Liberty lineman down again. So this is a good defensive play, but it looked like that he was able to look at pursuit by Anthony Ellis.
We'll see if we get it here on the receiver end. King with the defense right on the ball. He's on the the white. He's on the white.
Good call. Good call by that.
Great catch, but he lost track of where his feet were. Crawford down, getting helped to his feet and getting helped off the field. No one wants to see anybody hurt anytime, but particularly the last game of the year. You
I was working like that for you for 4 quarters we play.
don't want it to end like that. But Ethan Crawford, sophomore, being helped off the field. And so that's 4th and 10. And Liberty, the only thing good you could say for them is that at least they still didn't waste a lot of time. They used 20 seconds to go 3 and out.
Well, you could not ask for anything better if you're Charleston Southern. After that emotional drive, kicking the field goal to take the 1-point lead, the last thing you wanted to do is give up a bunch of yards to Liberty the next offensive possession out. And so a great job of them coming out, doing their job defensively, and now Charleston Southern's in a position that if they can do what they've done best today, and that's run the football, they can win this thing.
Turner to kick to Lindsey. High kick. Fair catch called at the 10. And that is where CSU will begin the possession with the lead in hand. 17-16 Buccaneers. You are watching college football down south.
Clemson's up.
It's spare time, and at Spare Time Entertainment, we've got just what you need. We've got games, we've got lanes, we've got food, and fun? Oh yeah, we've got fun. So when you've got a little time on your hands, make it spare time. Visit SpareTimeEntertainment.com.
First down play, a little smash run for 2 yards. The clock is rolling here. Charleston Southern with the 17-16 lead. And the ball at their own 12. Schuler is the back for London Johnson. Johnson sends tight end in motion. Defense showing a blitz by McGinty. Pitch back to Schuler. Gets across the 15, across the 20. He's got a first down, and that is exactly the recipe for Charleston Southern.
Oh, you're exactly right. I mean, if about 4 or 5 more of those in this game, you can almost start putting it in the books. It's, you know, obviously, if Liberty can get the football back, if they continue to rattle the chains and keep moving the sticks. But here's the thing, Liberty, you know, they have an opportunity now as you go under 5 minutes with this snap. They're going to have to start looking at those 3 timeouts and start burning them in order to stop that clock to leave themselves ample time to be able to score.
Johnson flanked by Harris and Schuler. Gives the ball to Harris, pulls it back, keeps it himself, and tries up the middle. He'll get about 3 yards.
Those are smart plays, Mark. Those are very smart plays by Charleston Southern. To keep the ball in the middle of the field, know the clock's going to continue to run. Johnson obviously is a guy that hangs onto the football, doesn't turn the ball over very often. And so keep the ball in your sure-handed guys and your skilled guys' hands and let that clock. Now, by the time you snap this football, you're going to be right around that 4-minute mark. And so you can see very good clock management by Coach Tucker at this juncture of the game.
Davis and Dinkins to the near side. Harris and Schuler, or Harris, yes, Harris and Schuler with Johnson. Johnson will pitch to Harris. And he's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, see,
and that one I'm not so sure about.
Yeah, and that's to me, that's not an intelligent call. Simply because then you give Liberty the ability to not have to use one of their timeouts and to burn it. You want to keep the ball in the middle of the field.
Well, there's still, that's one where it stopped briefly and is now
running
long
again. Enough to let everybody substitute.
Yeah, so it's running
But still,
again.
Liberty's not going to burn a timeout with it being 3rd down now. They want to save those timeouts in case they need them offensively.
3rd and 6, under 4:10 remaining. Interesting play call coming here for Charleston on 3rd and 6. Johnson looks to throw, steps up, he's got trouble, he's got pressure in his face, and there was just nowhere to go. He eats that one, which may be the discretion, the better part of valor there, rather than make a foolish mistake. But Liberty did a good job just shutting down everything, I think.
They did a great job, but that was relentless pursuit by Liberty. They realized that Charleston Southern was in an obviously passing situation. They needed to get a first down to keep this drive alive. That is not a good outing for the Buccaneers. And now Liberty not only is going to get the ball back, but look at the field position. They're probably going to get this ball somewhere around 40 to 50 yard line, even if it's a fair catch. So really just half the field to have to work with over 3 minutes to go.
Farrow deep to take the Rygaard punt. He is standing on his own 41-yard line. Whistles, whistles, whistles. Let's see what we got here.
And thank goodness for Charleston Southern there was a whistle.
Yeah.
That was a shanked punt.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give Rygaard the benefit of the doubt that he heard a whistle first.
If not, that would have been a total of about a 15-yard punt.
But there is a walk-off, and that's going to further improve the field position for Liberty. 5 yards back, and Rygaard's going to punt from his own 3.
With the wind directly in his face.
Now you got Farrow standing on the logo at midfield. Kick is up and away. They don't apply any pressure. They don't want to cause any problems there. Ball bounces, kicks out to around the 49. So Liberty will begin their possession trailing by 1 in Charleston Southern territory. Just barely, but still positive side. 17-16, Liberty down 1 and getting the ball when we come back on College Football Down South. Liberty is down a point, but they've got the ball here in the final 3 minutes of the fourth quarter in Charleston. Handoff to Hickson. Hickson dropped in the backfield. Charleston Southern not fooled, not buying it, not giving anything up. Big stop by Johnson, or by Robinson rather.
And another tackle for loss for the Charleston Southern defense. That makes for 6 on the day as the beat goes on for them in the TFL category.
2nd and 12, clock rolling. Calvert's got a little pressure, but go off the hands of Antonio Gandy Golden. That would have been the ball at the 30-yard line.
And honestly, had Damian King had his eyes up, he can catch that football. It was deflected at the end of the play. Damian King stopped his route. Had he continued to let his momentum go forward, that ball will drop directly in Damian King's hands, and he walks in for 6 points for the Flames.
Last time they had the ball, it was a 3-and-out faster than you could blink. And now here we are, 3rd and 12. They're on the verge of doing it again if they're not careful. The Liberty Flames trying to make up that point differential here. Calvert stands firm in the pocket and connects with Reddick. First down at the 31. Sensational job there on both ends of the play.
Big hit by Rowland at the end of the play. He's very slow to get up after he put his face directly in there.
Worth reminding everybody, very good kicker also on Liberty side. Aaron has an injury update.
Guys, we saw Crawford come out. He's an offensive lineman on the right end there for Liberty. He came out of the game in the last series, and he went down on his left ankle. They heavily taped that left ankle, and they did keep him out of this series. So I don't think he'll be back in the game today.
Thank you, Aaron. Calvert looking for Farrow, and Farrow kind of, I don't know if they knew which shoulder that ball was going or which way he was supposed to turn. They weren't on the same page in the end there.
Well, this is interesting. This is kind of a no man's land right here for Liberty. They really need to pick up an added 10 more yards in order for this to be more in their range for where they need to be from a field goal perspective. Alex Probert, obviously.
Probert's long this year is 43. But he has a career long of 51, so he has hit from the distance that would be required, but they would obviously like to be in a little closer. They ain't going to do it here, though. My goodness, another tackle for loss.
Yeah, chalk that up for number 7 for Charleston Southern for tackle for loss. And another really impressive defensive surge by that Charleston Southern defensive line. Now,
and in a shocking turn, Anthony Ellis was involved. What do you know?
What do you know?
Yeah.
That guy's just all over the place.
We're approaching a minute and a half to go. So this possession could this could well be it here, folks. 3rd and 12 at the 32. 125 and still counting down. Calvert calling for the ball. Pressure coming. He's on the run. Throws to his right. Sails it past Gandy Golden. It will be 4th down.
Now just remember now, Probert.
Yes. That's a whole different thing.
That is a whole different subject matter. I couldn't even read my own handwriting there for just a second. He's only 3 of 8 from this range.
Yep.
Okay, now he does have the wind assistance with him, so this is not going to be an issue of distance. I can assure you of that. If he hits it correctly, it will not be a distance issue. It will just be an accuracy issue where he, like I said, he is only 3 of 8 from this range.
It's a 49-yard attempt. It is up. It is going to go through. It is good. Liberty has the lead. 1:11 to play, 19-17.
And that would have been good from a long way out. Probert he just got a good solid foot on the ball, and this thing would have been good from 60. Easy. Snap, the hold, the kick is up. Plenty of distance. That thing sailed a good 20-25 yards past the crossbar, so good job by Liberty to be able to come back and now take the 2-point lead. Now, interestingly enough, take a look at what you have. You have the Bucks, who had to call the timeout earlier. And we wondered at the time during the broadcast, we were like, is that ever going to come back? Will they need those timeouts? Well, lo and behold, this is where you need every timeout you can possibly get. Having to burn the timeout earlier could come back to bite Charleston Southern by not having all three. Only going to have about a minute after the kickoff. It's if it's a returnable kick. Now, with the wind aid right now, might not even be a returnable kick. But if it is, then you're only going to be looking at about a minute to work with. But if we've seen anything, we've seen Charleston Southern have some quick strike capabilities today.
So, despite the fact that Charleston Southern has actually managed more offense today than Liberty, Liberty has taken the lead here in the closing minutes. The kick goes beyond the end zone, and so Charleston Southern will take possession on the touchback at their own 25. They're down 2. And now we're back to the question, does that extra point loom again? You know, it's not a 3-point margin. If Charleston Southern can manage to get off a field goal try, they could sneak away with a close victory here. The career-long, season and career-long for Tyler Teacack is 49. We just saw Probert hit a 49 with the wind at his back. Teacack would have to do it with the wind in his face.
But let me also say this, in the same range that Probert just hit that one, Teacack is now 4-5 in that same exact range. So very accurate from a long distance away.
Teacack had a game winner
all the way
in a 10-9 game against Gardner-Webb.
Yep.
Will they have the opportunity for him to do it again? We'll have to see. Here's the first down play. Johnson quickly to throw, and he bounces it. Brown is on the ground. That went wrong all over. The only good thing to say there is they didn't do something foolish with the ball. It will be 2nd and 10, and they only lost a few seconds. Bucks with the ball down 2. Final game of the season. Harris in the backfield with Johnson, who's got the ball now. Looking downfield. Pressure in his face. He's going down. Jawan Wells with the sack.
And now Mark Tucker is just forced to call a timeout, and he's got 3rd and a tarmac to be able to go to get this first down now.
That was a clash of titans. I think he beat Williamson on the play, and those guys, a lot of experience and a lot of talent. But Jawan Wells is, I mean, he's one of those forces of nature. Each team has a guy up front, in Ellis at CSU and Wells at Liberty, that they change plays. They change plays. Boom. You see that coming through, it's over.
There's really nothing fancy about that blitz either. That's just a gap blitz is all that is. They're running an angle and a stunt with the defensive end and the interior guys. But when you're that quick off the ball and you've got that good hand speed, that's what makes a defensive lineman very dangerous and very difficult for an offensive lineman to block. And that time Wells just showed you why he's on everybody's watch list for postseason awards.
And somehow this has turned into a 3rd and 21. And it's under a minute to go. Charleston Southern trails by 2. And they've got to hope for a slice of a miracle here. Johnson gets the snap. Pressure coming. Oh, he's scrambling for it now. He's got trouble. Got to throw it. He's got Davis. And Davis has got a first down. Well, what do you know about that?
I'm not sure anybody was covering Davis at all. I mean, I think Davis was so surprised. Look at this. You know, the play, first of all, London does a great job of just staying alive. Look at Johnson get out of the pocket and then look downfield. And he turned around. He's like, there's nobody here.
I think
he just stepped out of bounds to stop the clock.
I think once Johnson brought the ball in, some of the folks in the secondary may have collapsed in, thinking they're going to cover a run at that point. Oh my goodness, just low to Davis. At least it, stops the clock, and they'll get a chance to reset for 2nd down. Downs don't necessarily mean as much here. They need to. They just need to move the chains. It's not a matter of whether you're pushing on 2nd or 3rd. They've got to just keep going down the field. They've only got 46 seconds. So 2nd and 10. It's been London Johnson wire to wire here today. Has the pocket protection, has Wall downfield, and Wall was double covered. I'm not sure that would have, He would really had to thread that in there.
And I'm not sure that wasn't triple coverage on Wall down the field.
So here they are in 3rd down again. They converted a 3rd and 21 moments ago. 39 seconds remaining. Charleston Southern has won the last 3 meetings against Liberty. No team has ever beaten Liberty 4 times in a row in conference play. They're trying to keep it that way as they depart the Big South. Charleston Southern looking for a piece of that history. Wells with pressure. Johnson's got to tuck and run. He's getting past the 45. Whoa.
He's
just off the cliche, it does depend on the spot here. Where
I believe he's going to be a yard short. And look at this, but a really good job by getting out and avoiding the sack. And if they spot him where his right foot goes out, he's going to be 1 yard shy.
Yeah, they call it 4th and 1. So they need the first down to keep the possession alive, but they also need to keep moving. There are 33 seconds to go. This should be interesting. Johnson has got Harris to his left. They've got 3 receivers up to the wide side. Johnson rolls that direction and throws. He's got Wall. They've got the first down. And Wall, as covered as he was before, was wide open that time.
Wall's been a big target today to be a little fella. He's come up with a couple of big plays. You remember earlier in the ball game, he caught a 3rd and medium and then was able to be pushed for about 4 yards by the Liberty defense in order for a first down. That would set up a scoring drive for the Buccaneers.
So 3 receivers to the near side and Dinkins up to the short side. Johnson looks to his left, throws to Dinkins, crossing. He's inside the 25. They're going to at least get an attempt out of this. 22 seconds remaining. Dinkins coming across. It's low, but they connect.
And they're letting the clock run,
15,
which I don't understand.
14. A lot of finger pointing going on. 10. They've got to do something. Johnson clocks the ball with 6. Oh, my goodness.
I absolutely do not understand that with the timeout remaining. Why they had 20 some odd seconds on the clock.
Well, and now they're saying there's a timeout charge. I don't know at what point that was actually taken, before or after the that was a bit of a house fire right there.
I really don't understand what was going on. There were about 25 seconds to go on the clock, and you could have downed it with 20 some odd seconds, at least run the football.
TCAC's taking the field. This is the only thing they can do, really. They're not going to get off another play. They've got to kick the field goal.
But you had opportunity for at least 2 more plays.
They
you still had a timeout remaining, so you could have run multiple plays. If nothing else, you could have busted one loose down to the 10, 15-yard line to make it a chip shot.
Instead, he's going to have to kick a 42-yarder into a stiff wind.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and now it bumps it into that range of where, against the wind, this is going to have to be good from 50 minimum.
Win or lose right here. 6 seconds on the clock.
6 seconds on the season.
19-17 Liberty. And Liberty's got a timeout to burn, so they'll burn it. He goes ahead and gives it a kick, and it kind of short to the left. But
very short.
Yeah, he knew that that one was just for grins and giggles and warm-ups, but still.
Yeah.
You saw the ball.
He didn't get it to the upright.
You saw the ball
he didn't
dive.
Get it across.
The ball died on the. I mean, it got up okay, but then somewhere between start and finish, the wind just took it.
And if you're TCAC, you see that happen. How does that change your approach to this kick?
Well, and if he's going to say, well, I'm going to blast it, then he's possibly going to lose his accuracy.
Sure.
I mean, that's always the trade-off for a kicker. Do I go for power or touch? He's kind of in a limbo here. This is going to be tough, and they've got to do it. Here we go. Just like we said, ball game on the line. Final few seconds. Everybody on edge, and Liberty trying to put pressure here. Ball game. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. Charleston Southern has won the game. TCAC with his second time expiring game winner of the season. And he's running all the way to the locker room. It is pandemonium on Senior Day. Charleston Southern has just won the game 20-19.
Wow, what a contest. What a game. Now, what is the confusion on the field? Is there time remaining?
That would be interesting. The officials are still conferring as to whether we're done or not. So hold on. They're calling people back to the sideline.
So I guess as soon as this actually is over,
We might have a tick left. But I tell you, it's celebration time here in South Carolina. What a game. What a finish. Many dramatic turns. And the officials are checking with the replay. So they want to look, I assume, at the clock when the ball goes through. We're going to have a kickoff, it would seem. So stand by.
Well, today is the anniversary of the Cal Stanford game.
5.
And you remember what happened with that with one last kickoff.
3, 2. I mean,
yes.
At what point? Yeah, they're going to have.
I believe there'll have to be 1 second, if I'm not mistaken. And we're looking up at the scoreboard right now, and there's 1 second on the scoreboard. So,
yeah, well, half of it's already been blacked out. I think they're ready to throw the switch, call it a day, and head home. TCAC, the hero, potentially. Hickson, the wannabe hero. He is the return specialist for Liberty.
Let's get ready for some laterals and pitches.
Kennedy to kick off, and he's been probably told anything but Hickson here on this. What should now be the final play of the game, we expect. Kick is away. Ground bouncing burner there. They throw back to Hickson. 25. He's looking lateral. He's gonna get brought down. That's it. It's over. Charleston Southern squashes the final hope of the flame. The last flicker of the flame is extinguished, and Liberty's Big South career ends with a loss in Charleston. The Buccaneers pull one out in the end. Will, how would you sum that up?
Well,
Can you?
4 years in a row, how do you sum it up? You know, I mean, this is a Charleston Southern team that has had Liberty's number for quite some time now, and now Liberty will be moving on to their FBS ranks. But knowing that the Buccaneers of Charleston, I'll tell you what, they knew exactly how to play this Flames team when it came November. What an exciting football game. 1-point victory by the Buccaneers, and I'll tell you, both teams did exactly what they are supposed to do. The Bucs ran the ball effectively. The Flames threw the ball effectively, but it was really the defensive front of Charleston Southern getting in the backfield with 6 unofficial, 6 tackles for loss. 7 tackles for loss on the day. That's our unofficial count. But that was the difference of the ball game, getting after Calvert and getting in the backfield.
There's just something about it. Like you said, November in this matchup. Turner Gill at Liberty, 16-5 in the month of November. 16-5. 4 of the 5 losses, Charleston Southern University. And so the Buccaneers do it again. And this one in the highest dramatic fashion. And let's have a look one more time into the wind. Bang! TCAC. TCAC is going to be the big man on campus today. And that's the fastest he's run all year.
When I had visions of Forrest Gump there at the end. I mean, he just kept running, and he ran through the end zone by the crossbar and all the way into the locker room. So somebody needed to tell TCAC that he could stop running after the field goal was good.
And as always, for 2 schools where religion is very important, a post-game prayer, win or lose, both sides sharing that in common. And heartfelt, and the last opportunity they'll have to do this together as we bid farewell to Liberty from the Big South.
That's a pretty cool scene. Win or lose, they still come out there, their own common ground with their faith, and that's a good show of sportsmanship and obviously their common bond there being their faith in God and going out there and participating together. That's a really cool scene for college football as well.
And I know Aaron is out there helping track down Coach for us, so hopefully we'll have a conversation with Coach Tucker in a moment on the high drama today here in the South Carolina Low Country. A beautiful day, a fantastic game, and what a way to close the season. And the seniors are lining up, the teams lining up. They're going to be doing the alma mater. It is all the traditions of college football coming together here in a great November Saturday, and what a way to close the season. And of course, it's happening elsewhere across the Big South. This isn't the only game out there today. Presbyterian College is leading Gardner-Webb 31-14 in the fourth quarter, so it looks like PC will finally get their first conference win of the year. And in the battle that will determine the Big South champion and the automatic qualifier, though hopes are both will, that the loser will get an at-large, and both will be in the FCS playoffs. Kennesaw State leading Monmouth 35-21 in the final seconds before halftime. So a shootout happening at KSU between the Hawks and the Owls. And of course here, it's a final of 20-19. The Buccaneers topping the Flames. And for those seniors leaving, they had 4 wins in a row over Liberty. And Liberty has a class leaving without knowing what it's like to beat Charleston Southern. A fascinating matchup over the last few years, without question. And I do believe Coach is finding his way to Aaron, so we'll be tossing her in just a moment. So hang on. I know you want to hear from the game-winning coach, because he has to have a thought or two about his guys today. Coach Tucker gets very emotional when talking about his players. And so we're going to go down to the field with our own Aaron Summers. She has Coach Mark Tucker. And take it away, Aaron.
Coach Tucker, amazing comeback win there. What went into the decision to go for that field goal?
We were running out of time, and I didn't want to take an opportunity to waste time or give us a reason to fail. I wanted an opportunity to win. And our kicking and our specialists have been beyond solid all year long. So we were either going to win or losing on the last play, and I want to make sure that's where it was.
Well, the difference maker was that 1 point, the blocked extra point that you had earlier in the game. How important was that?
It's everything. It's the difference. Otherwise, we're sitting here in overtime right now. Things that every coach in America preaches to their kids. There's roughly 5 or 7 plays that make a difference in every football game. You never know when they're going to happen. You've got to be prepared for every time, every snap that's on the field. And our young man, Brandon Rowland, was. And our guys up there that got the push, freed him up, they were. And they made a play. And we won a football game outright in regulation because of it.
5th consecutive winning season for the program, and to get to end this season with a win. What is the celebration going to be like afterwards?
A lot easier to recruit. Our seniors that have been the most productive class in this school's history get to walk out of here with a much better feeling had we lost. That's the greatest feeling for me personally. It's not lip service. We love these young men as though they're our own sons. We sometimes discipline them like we're our own sons as well at times. Anytime someone you love gets an opportunity to feel very good, you got to be happy for them, and we're certainly that.
Good. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Guys?
Thank you, Aaron. And the script doesn't get a whole lot better than that. A dramatic back-and-forth game, a 20-19 final. And we're glad you were here with us for this today. On behalf of my partner up here, Will Merritt, and Aaron Summers down the sidelines, our producer-director, Mark Owens, and the entire crew here with 7 Communications, we want to thank you for watching. We want to thank you for watching here the last few weeks of Big South football. 2019, the final. Charleston Southern defeats Liberty, and we're very glad to have had you with us today. Thank you for watching College Football Down South. Are we clear? Mark, we clear? We think we are.
Maybe I just can't hear you. Barely, yeah. The program's just really loud.
Because they still have this week.
Maybe I just can't hear you. Barely, yeah. The program's just really loud.
Pass is complete. Pass is complete.